Just gonna wait until a few people come in. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wait until a few more people come in. Then I'm gonna say what I need to say, and I'm probably gonna let other people come up and speak their piece. Let people call in, speak their piece, do whatever they want to do. You know what I'm saying? So just waiting for people to come in right quick. If you're in here, say something in the chat. Oh, y'all in the comments real quick this morning. What's going on, y'all? Yes, child. Yes, child. Yes, child. Does it look like I'm still kind of sleepy, but I decided to go live this morning. I don't normally go live. I don't normally do like live shows and shit like that after these shows go out. I just leave it to Terrence. That's my friend's thing. So I normally just leave that shit to him. But I just wanted to come on here and I wanted to talk about everything that's been going on. And on top of that, I want to give everybody else the chance to come up and speak to me and we can have a discussion about the situation. So give me 1 second. Let me get up right quick. Be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys. So I'm gonna come in here. So I'm about to say a couple of things first, and then after I say what I need to say, I'm gonna let you guys come up, and we're gonna have a conversation. So before I let you guys come up, I want you to know that this is a no judgment zone. I won't judge you. I won't curse you out. Like I'm really not that type of person. Like um, in my videos, I do give a lot. You know what I'm saying? But at the same point in time, it's kind of like it is what it is. That doesn't mean I'm just out here cussing everybody out all the time, and then I just got a fucked up attitude. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So yes, I did see what OG posted, which is why I decided to go live this morning. That's the main reason why I decided to go live, simply because I saw what OG posted. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so after last night's episode, I did my video last night, right? I did my recap on the show. And then I'm surprised I still have my voice because I let it rip. Okay, I let it rip. I didn't even put no edits. I didn't put no theme music in there. It was just a simple, raw, and uncut video. Okay, I haven't done none of those in so long. I'm so used to editing and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? But last night I was so annoyed that I didn't even care to do no to go and make it fancy and all this other stuff. I didn't even care. So I just put it out there because I was very much what word am I looking for? I was frustrated to say the least. I was very frustrated with this whole situation. I've been very frustrated with this whole situation with OG from the very beginning. And what's really funny to me is that if y'all been watching me for the last 3 seasons of this show, y'all should know that I've always been Team OG. Now I may have cracked a little joke here and there about how her wig probably was fucked up or how her clothes was probably a mess. Yes, I have done that. Of course, I'm here to crack jokes. I'm an entertainer, so to speak. But however, I've always been Team OG, always. So it's very crazy when people come in my inbox, well, come in my comment section, and they say things like, I'm fake woke and I'm trying to be like Justin J. Y'all know I don't normally say his name like that because I don't really care to say his name like that. And y'all know the situation of our friendship breaking apart or whatever in the past. So that's why I try to keep from saying his name. But you know, I'm not trying to be like him. I would never be like him. We're both two different people. So because I'm on Team OG and because I see things for what it is, that makes me fake woke, and then I'm trying to be like Justin J. Okay, so I never considered myself to be woke. Never considered myself to be a woke person. And my style of reviewing and my style of doing videos is nothing like Justin's style of doing videos. I've never tried to be like him. Don't want to be like him, and that's no shade, but I don't want to be like him. I only want to be Scotty. Scotty is very unique. I can only be Scotty. Like, there's only one me, and that's it. Can't nobody duplicate me just like no one can duplicate him. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. Hey, Kempire, what's going on? So, um, with that being said, I've always seen the double standards that these women have always given to OG. Like, it's pretty clear that it's clear. It's set in stone. It's clear as day as to what's really going on with the situation. And I just think that people only bring it down to she just ugly. She just ugly. She just mad because she ugly. She only hates Evelyn because Evelyn is pretty and all of this stuff. Like I've been seeing people saying stuff like that. And that really gets to me because it's not about whether or not she's ugly or not. Being a person being ugly is very subjective. We're all ugly to somebody. I've been called ugly for many years, especially by other gay men. Mainly women, compliment me for being handsome or saying that I'm a beautiful man and stuff like that. A lot of gay men don't compliment me. A lot of gay men think I'm ugly. This has been the case. That's who I've been called. That's who have called me ugly for most of my life. Is other gay men. So with that being said, it's like we're all ugly to someone. Somebody just like like I say all the time, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Everybody is not going to be attracted to everybody, but at the same point in time, regardless of how you feel about them physically, that does not mean that gives you the right to choose to treat someone in a specific way because you feel like they're unattractive. So because you think that they're unattractive, that means that they're supposed to be treated a certain type of way. That means that they're supposed to be ridiculed and all of this other crap because they're quote unquote ugly. No. And I feel like when people say she just ugly, she just ugly, she just ugly, so that means she's supposed to be treated a specific type of way, and everybody else is supposed to allow it to happen. And then we wonder why her attitude is what it is, and we wonder why she's defensive. And I know that my friend Terrence did a live, and he was talking about her attitude. And everybody knows I disagree with Terrence on this whole situation. Everybody knows this, so this is no diss to him at all. Everybody knows my stance. We've had a whole discussion about this on this channel. When people constantly called out her attitude, it irritates me because everybody on that cast has a fucked up ass attitude. But nobody tends to say that. And it just goes, and I feel like when you constantly say her attitude is bad, but you don't point out everybody else's attitude on the show, it kind of plays into that thing. Well, she ugly and she shouldn't have no attitude being that ugly. You know what I'm saying? So, hold on, y'all. Okay, I'm back. But yeah, it's like I've seen people say she ugly, and being that she's ugly, she shouldn't have no attitude like that. Being ugly as she is, like I hear people say that. So because Evelyn is the standard beauty, that means she's allowed to have an attitude, and that means that to she's allowed to be a bitch. But OG can't be a bitch because she's quote unquote ugly. See, and then on top of that, OG has released receipts on those new sisters that's on the show. OG has um, OG has released receipts about the conversation she had with Kristen before. And the other night, OG talked about, she released a conversation with her in Malaysia and Kristen. So when she releases these conversations and she pretty much puts it out there, I feel like it's pretty clear that there is manipulation from production. I don't really like to go into the whole production thing, but it's pretty clear to me that there is some production manipulation going on with the situation. It's very obvious to me that it is, and I don't understand how people can't see that it is. You know what I mean? Like there is production manipulation. Shawnee is the producer. They have had this whole plan from the very beginning. We're gonna go back into this season. We're gonna gaslight the shit out of OG. We're gonna make it seem as though she's this, she's that, and all of this other stuff. I feel like that's what they've been doing because they've been doing the same shit for years. They pick on people who they feel are inferior to them. They did the same thing when they treated Royce the same way. And I just did a video about this the other night when I broke down the history of Basketball Wives Miami. Not necessarily LA, but the Tammy, Evelyn, and Shawnee Get Fresh crew, I broke it all the way down from each situation. There was some situations that I totally forgot about. But the thing about it is, I just think that these women don't see the error of their own ways. My issue is OG is called out for being super aggressive. She's called out for being super aggressive, but Evelyn has been aggressive from the very beginning. Tammy has been aggressive from the very beginning. Shawnee is aggressive, but she's very passive aggressive with that. You know what I mean? She's very passive aggressive when it comes down to it. So it's like, you know, it's crazy to me how it's just it's jumbled up and it's a bunch of bullshit. Like people can't see past their dislike for OG. People can't see past their dislike for her look or whatever. People can't see past any of that, and I just feel like that's really ridiculous. And then when you speak on it, people want to call you a fake woke person. Child, I don't even speak about woke shit on my channel. That person just wanted to bring up Justin because they know that we don't fuck with each other, and they wanted to bring a negative reaction out of me, and they wanted me to talk shit about him so they can get some shit going, and it's not gonna happen. No, I don't fuck with the nigga like that, period. But I'm not here to bash him. He can do whatever he want to do on his own channel. I don't even watch his shit to know what he does. So it is what it is. So they kill me with the comparison thing. Like there is no comparison. He's up here. I'm not even on his level yet. So it's just, why are we being compared? Oh, because we used to be friends and I don't fuck with him. It's crazy. People try to find any reason to try to cause drama, but it's just crazy to me how they try to do that. Like we're talking about OG and her aggression, but we're not talking about Evelyn's aggression. Even just last season, Evelyn threw a drink at Jennifer. Evelyn got up in Dominique's face. Evelyn tried to hit Cece with a bamboo stick, but nobody has nothing to say about it. OG says, I'm gonna break your jaw. She's aggressive. She's aggressive. I can't be in the same room with her. But Evelyn can get physical, but y'all can still be in the same room with her. Doesn't make sense to me. Thank y'all. Yeah, it is. My room is big. Like I didn't. I like, but this is an older house. You know what I'm saying? So most older houses have those big ass rooms. The houses that they build these days, they don't. Hey y'all, houses that they build these days, they don't have as much space as the older ones does. Um, but yeah, they okay, like Malaysia, she's thrown tables, she's fought people. Everybody up there has had a moment where they have gotten physical with someone, but they're always into question every time something happens. And I just think that Shawnee is the biggest offender because she throws a rock and hides her hand. It's kind of like how she treated Brandy and how they bullied her or tried to bully her. It's like you want to be the producer and you want to have this thing where can't nobody say nothing to you or hold you accountable for your shit. But you can sit up and you can hold everybody else accountable for their shit. When Brandy held you accountable for being what you were, which was a bitch, you couldn't accept that and you couldn't take that, so you tried to get her fired. But then, you know what I mean? VH1 said, "Oh no, ma'am, we're gonna keep Randy. She brings something to the show. We're gonna keep her here. We don't need you to no, so we're gonna keep her." So when you knew that she was gonna come back for that sixth season, what you decided to do was, okay, I need to get rid of this bitch. I need to get rid of this bitch. So therefore, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna get Tammy and Evelyn's dumb asses not to film with her. And that's exactly what they did, and eventually Brandy got off the show. So I mean, it's clear to me what's really going on. So I can't. Like people can't I just feel like people can't see what's really going on. Like the bullying is sitting right there and you don't see it? Or are you just gonna act like you don't see it? You know, I just think that Basketball Wives is a big trigger for me. As I've spoken before, I was bullied in school. I've been very vocal with that. And people don't see what's really going on. All they see is your reaction. When I would get bullied, I would act out. But nobody would say anything to the person that was doing what they were doing to me. They only saw me because of my reactions. They only saw me because um, of the way I acted out. But the person that was doing the shit to me would never get in trouble. I would, and I would be questioned. So I totally understand where OG is coming from with this situation. Like this is why I'm team OG in this whole situation because I've been in her place where people have misjudged you because of how you carry yourself or because of the way you look. They don't want to give you a chance. And this is what it is. They don't feature OG because of the way she looks. They rejected OG because of the way she looks. There's no denying it. They've done the same thing to Royce. They. It's just like, how can you not understand it? How can you not see what's right in front of you? How can you not see what's really been going on? Every season, they feel like they have to target someone to be bullied. The very first season, it was Gloria and it was Royce. The second season, it was Susie. The third season, it was Royce. A tad bit of Mika, but mainly Royce. The fourth season, it was Keisha and it was Kenya. The fifth season, Tasha was made to look like a damn fool. Season six, wait. Then you go into Basketball Wives LA, and you know what I mean? Brandy was the target, and then Duffy was the target, and then Jackie was the target. And that's another thing with Jackie that I don't fucking understand. These are the same women that didn't even fuck with you like that. And you're sitting here taking their side. And you're sitting here trying to tell OG how she's supposed to feel about the situation. I don't get it. I totally don't get that at all. Like, what I don't like about Jackie is that she's trying to tell OG how she feels. You can't tell a person how they feel. You can either just say, because you may not agree. You may not think that you treated a person a certain type of way. You know what I mean? You may feel like you did not treat them a certain type of way. Hey, Terrence. Hey, Evie. You may feel like you did not treat a person a certain type of way. But if they making them feel that way. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. It's just like some of y'all saying in the comments, Jackie's just trying to keep her job. Yeah, she is. That's all it is. That's what she's trying to do, trying to keep a job. I'm just saying like, um, I just feel like we're missing the big picture here with Basketball Wives. It's like it's okay to call people out on their shit. You know what I mean? It's okay. I don't have an issue with that. Like if you feel like you need to call out OG on anything, that's fine. But it's not even about OG for me. It's the big picture. It's the blatant favoritism for me. It's the blatant being willfully obtuse for me on this show. That's what's pissing me the hell off because these women know exactly what they've done, but yet they want to act like they didn't do shit. You know what I mean? Like they want to act like they're not doing shit. They want to act like they didn't do anything. They want to, like, it's just, and we could easily say, OG shouldn't be on the show. Or why did OG come back to the show or whatever? But it's a contractual thing. That's why she's back. So, it is what it is. And with Jackie, it's like the comment that you made about the colorist thing, I feel like she should be the last person to speak about colorism, period. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that her own daughter said that she was a colorist. Her own daughter even said that. Here come this stupid bitch here. I did call Jackie out. I did say that her daughter said that she was a colorist. I never once denied that Jackie was ever a colorist. So what the fuck are you talking about? Fuck out of here. And yes, I'm calling that motherfucker out simply because of the fact that he's the one who said that I was trying to be like Justin. So that bitch gonna get cussed out every time he comes in my chat. Every time. That's the same one that comes in my comment section every week to attack me every week. And I allow him to stay in my chat. I don't want nobody to block anybody or anything like that thing that just came across my screen. I let them stay and run amok in my shit all the time. That is one person that trolls my shit all day, every day, and start with me. So I will cuss that bitch out whenever I see fit. That doesn't go for the rest of y'all, but that one right there, gonna always get cussed out. Gonna always get the motherfucking business. Period. But yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm about to share the link in here, and I'm gonna let some of you guys come on one by one or maybe two by two. And so we can get it popping. Whoever wants to come up and give and say their piece on the situation, come on. And y'all, as y'all can see, I'm not mean. My energy is so good this morning, regardless of the fact that this show has really drained my spirit so much. I am in great spirits this morning. I'm sure y'all can tell. I'm very much so sure that y'all can tell. You know what I mean? So so yeah, it is what it is. So we got one person. We got one person that just came backstage. So I'm gonna allow him to come up and say his piece. One of my favorite mods. What's going on? What you got to say today?
What's going on, man? I mean, yeah, to be honest with you, I just think it's a wrap, and I'm gonna blame it all on Shawnee and production. I mean, they knew what they did last season, and they acting like putting her in another room was deplorable. Like it doesn't make any sense that they don't see that, and they wonder
Right.
why. And I always say I don't think OG has an attitude. I just think she just doesn't trust anybody, and rightfully so because they all freaking turned on her. Every time they'll say one thing, especially when she showed those receipts, they say one thing to her face. Next thing you know, they go back to the house and they was like, "Oh, she was aggressive. She did this. She did that." And I'm just like, "See, Y'all not even listening. And it was
Right.
funny because Liza was the only one that was like, I just don't think neither one of y'all are hearing everybody. And she wasn't even in the situation.
Right.
And it's just
Exactly.
it's aggravating. But that's pretty much it. I'm over this show, especially since it's not gonna be resolved with the reunion. Like I don't even know
Right.
why we're getting one more episode. It's just it's a done
It's
deal.
no point. It's no point.
They don't
No
even
point.
like. I don't even think Houston is an issue anymore after this season. I really don't.
Oh yeah, I think it's a done deal with Basketball Wives altogether. I think it's a done deal.
But I'm gonna head back to work. Good talking to you.
All right. I see I got two more people waiting. So thank you. Just be in the chat, moderating and stuff like that. You know what I'm
Oh, no
saying?
problem. No problem.
All right then. Okay. Up next we got Kim Pyre. Kim Pyre.
Hey, how are you?
What's going on? Nothing. And I'm gonna bring her up too. So I'm gonna have y'all up here at the same time. Kill two birds with one stone. So
Here, so don't, so excuse me. I'm sorry.
oh, that's fine, girl. I done been on camera with combs stuck up in my head too. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
So
matter at all.
I just want to briefly say, like, when I saw your review just a couple minutes ago, and you were talking about how you experienced bullying, I started to become emotional because I too experienced bullying in high school and in middle school, and what they're doing to this girl on this TV is triggering to a lot of people because
Mm-hmm.
it is so horrible the way that they're doing this girl. Like the way that they're doing this girl is indicative of the fact that there's a bigger problem, and it's been like this whole time. Like it's really like that across reality TV in general, but for basketball wise specifically, like even from the time where like it was really a shift. I feel like when Tammy stole that girl's purse and made and asked that girl her purse, come get your purse, and that girl stood off over in the corner and did not want to come get her belongings. I knew then that like this was like crossing a line. So I just really just want to say, like, I just really want to comment, like, a lot of people are being triggered by this. Like, trust me, a lot of people are being triggered, and I think it's time for the show to be canceled, to be honest, because Shawnee and Evelyn. To be honest, Shawnee was the first person who was supposed to go over there and talk to that girl. None of
Mm-hmm.
out of the two people who went to talk to her, even then, none of them apologized. None of them said if there's anything I personally did, I would like to apologize. None, so I could see why she'll be on the defense because none of you guys came to her with a humble attitude saying I apologize. You basically wanted this girl to explain and validate her own feelings for how she was treated. Like some of the stuff Malaysia was saying and Jackie was saying, even in the commentary behind the scenes, it was just like just building up on a mountain of trying to discredit this girl's feelings. It was terrible to watch. It was horrible.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
horrible.
That's really where my frustration comes from and where my passion comes from. Because it's kind of like I said, this whole situation is bullying. Basketball wise has always been centered around bullying.
Mm-hmm.
And when people have never experienced that, they don't understand. And like I said early on in the live, it's like when I used to get bullied in school, all people could see was my reaction. They could only see me acting out or whatever and see that I have an attitude. But no one ever sees the person that's antagonizing me or the person that said this or the person that, they don't see that. So all we can do when we see OG is she got an attitude. But yeah, she got an attitude. But why does she have an attitude? Because these people are coming in front of her acting like they really give a damn when they really don't. Like if it wasn't for the backlash that they got last season, they would not be trying to come to her to have a conversation, to try to understand anything, because she already tried to talk to them already about what she felt. She said it already and they dismissed that already. So what makes one think that this is genuine? I don't feel that it's genuine at all. I
I,
don't.
and the fact that I could not believe Jackie had the audacity to ask this girl to recant her statements and her feelings and tell her, could you just say it was a mistake? I knew it wasn't genuine then. That was disgusting. I felt terrible that they put, you can even see in OG's face she was becoming like down from the pressure she was feeling. Like I just thought that was just one of the worst. And like, Jackie hit a new low for me when she asked that girl to recant her feelings. That was messed up.
It was.
I have a very different view of the whole situation. I just have a problem with them calling it colorism because I don't honestly feel it was a colorism issue. Bullying, being passive aggressive, favoritism, yes, most definitely. As you both said, we've seen it with this group over the years, and it's become very tiring, especially for older women. But the whole issue of colorism, I wish they wouldn't have brought up because it's so divisive, especially within the Black community. But bullying, without a doubt. And I feel like every time that OG would bring up the whole colorism issue, and then she would say, "Oh, this is colorism," like this last episode. Oh, telling your child, "Wake your Black ass up." I was like, wait, that's not colorism, is it? Or maybe it is. I might be wrong. But I just felt like, and people could say it was a bad edit, but I'm just like, okay, every time she's explained colorism, I'm like, that's not colorism though, OG. Like, I want to have her side on that issue, but I'm like, that's not it. Bullying, like you both said, definitely. They are all notorious for it. They are all notorious for being aggressive and mean girls and things like that. And like both of you said, I feel like, look, it's time for the show to be over. It's sad because you want these people to have jobs, you want people of color to be on television, but it's just become so played out. Like this season alone, which is like, are we not going to have any sort of resolution? Are we not going to have some sort of fun that's at least entertaining to watch? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I could see where you're going when you were saying that when she was explaining, it didn't really like I couldn't follow her either. Even when she was doing colorism, I couldn't really follow her. But then I was kind of like, everyone is imperfect. So even with she's capable of, for me, like when we call her like colorist thing to say, when Evelyn that gorilla towards her, I feel like it was a good thing.
Yeah.
When Evelyn first thing to attack was ugly, and the way she was saying it, like ugly. Even when Shani was trying to stop Evelyn from arguing with her, she was saying, "Oh no, now what OG?" So I kind of feel like everyone might not be guilty of colorism, but some of them are.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Yeah. Terrence, you're in here. What's going on?
Girl, shut up. I'm at work. You loud. I just wanted to get up here just right quick and say, Kempire, that's all I was saying. That's all I was saying. The people condemned me down. And that was all I was saying. When it came to certain situations, I did not believe it was colorism. Now, when it came down with Shani and Evelyn, I see that. I was on her side. But like when it got down to where it trickled between all of the rest of these women, she lost me with that. That was all I said. I'm still on the side. I still like her. She never did nothing to me. But
one thing I want to get away from, and I've seen it in the comments on my social media, where they immediately want someone that's probably lighter skinned not to talk about colorism, and we got to stop that too, because that's divisive. Just because someone might be lighter skinned doesn't mean that they haven't experienced colorism as well. Because you might view someone as a little bit lighter skinned.
Yeah, I think what it is that when it's a darker skinned woman, they're automatic, like if they have a certain stance on something, they're automatically considered aggressive or this and that. If it's a light skinned Black woman, she'll stuck up ass bitch from the moment they see her. So that can also be colorism. But at the same point in time, though, when it comes down to OG, like I keep saying, I'm still kind of ignorant to the colorism thing. I don't necessarily understand it that much, which is why I'm gonna do a panel in regards to colorism. You're welcome to join it if you want to, Kempire.
I would love to.
But I'm trying to do a panel on colorism. I already reached out to two different women for it. And so I can get a better understanding of what colorism is.
And we
But
all
what I
need a
don't
better
want,
understanding.
but what I don't want to do is hold on. Somebody's okay. What I don't want to do is to diminish somebody else's experience. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing.
Mhm.
I don't want to diminish anybody else's experience because we don't know what OG may have experienced in her past for her
Mhm.
to feel as though that it's colorism. Like for
Mhm.
example, just like Andrea said, there can be a situation where everybody may not be colorist, but some of them may be. Like with Evelyn posting the monkey, that was colorism.
Mhm.
Like you're calling her a monkey, you know what I mean? Like you're saying you're doing this, you're doing that. You're calling her a orangutan. That is colorism.
What did you
And I
think
feel
about
like,
when? I'm sorry to cut you off. What did you think about
uh,
when she said the entire group was colorist, including herself? That threw me for a loop. I was like, wait, what?
That bothered me too. That
I'm
bothered my
thinking,
soul too. I
I'm
said,
thinking,
if you're condemning them for the very same behavior that you're exhibiting, then I'm lost. I'm on her side though, because y'all know I can't say nothing about OG. I'm on your side, OG. You my
here's
bitch,
the
OG.
thing.
I rocks with you all the way.
Okay, so someone in the comment section explained that. I'm gonna look for the comments and I'm gonna let Andrea say what she was saying. Go ahead.
Personally, I think that by the time OG said that, she was under so much pressure that I feel like she was willing to say anything to pacify Jackie. Like,
Okay.
once Jackie came in the door, you could tell she was visibly frustrated. I honestly think that everyone's frustrated because if they don't get this problem solved, they're probably going to have to cancel the show, or there's going to be some type of lawsuit regarding
I
this.
think it already is.
Yeah, so I feel like, so I think that's what's going on, and I think Jackie's frustration with the fact that she might be out of a job was going towards OG at the time. Jennifer on the couch was sitting over there. She wasn't saying anything. She was, it was just like all of the energy in the room. I feel like OG was just like internalizing all of it. So when she said that, I think by that time she was literally just trying to pacify Jackie, because Jackie went in there and was going in. And when she probably made the statement, "Could you just say it's not colorism?" I think it just kind of made her disshuffle, like it disshuffle
Mm.
OG's thoughts. And I think when she said that, she probably didn't realize exactly what that meant when she said it. That's what I think.
Yeah, I can
Okay,
see
so
that.
in the comments,
I
so in the
do
comment
agree with
section,
you.
in the comment section, someone said when OG made the comment that color is colorism amongst the group, and when she was saying everybody, the comment said in parentheses, colorism amongst the group. People are being colorist and others are enabling and being complacent to it. That's what that means. I think that is the best explanation as to what she's saying. It's colorism in a group, but there are people also in the group that are enabling said colorism or being complacent with said colorism that's going on. So I don't think that she was calling everybody in the group a colorist, but I
Mm.
think that she was saying that it's an issue amongst the group because there are specific people being colorists, i.e., Shawnee and Evelyn, and there
Hmm.
are people that are enabling it, i.e., Kristen and Malaysia. That's probably what she meant by that.
But I can
You know what I
understand why Christian in Malaysia would be like, oh, so you're saying because then you're if you're enabling it, doesn't that make you just as bad? You know what I mean? So I can see why they would be upset about that because they're like, how am I enabling that?
You're enabling it by not calling it out.
But what if they don't see it as that though?
Right.
And that's the issue. That's the issue. You don't see it, but at the same time, if a person is trying to explain it to you, you're not. I just feel like you're not trying to see it. If a person
Hmm.
is trying to explain it to you, it's okay if you don't agree. But if you
Yeah.
could try at least try to understand what they're trying to say, then that means that you're being willfully obtuse to the situation. You don't have to agree with it, but
Hmm.
at least try to understand what she's saying. And I think that's the issue here is that they're being obtuse. They're
Yeah.
not trying to hear what she's saying. Like you don't have to agree with it, but
Yeah.
if that's the way it came across, or if that's the way she sees it, then that's just her experience with it. You can't
And
diminish it.
And I think that I think they're never going to come to a resolution to it. That's probably why the season was cut short, and that's why they won't have a reunion. But at the same time, look, I've been trying to have OG side because I've been looking in every corner, and I'm like, okay, maybe there's stuff that we haven't seen on the show. Yes, there have been a lot of problematic things that they've said and done on the show, but I'm really trying to have OG side on this, and I'm just like, OG, every time you say that there's colorism, I'm like, that doesn't sound like colorism to me. But look, I could be wrong, and I'm glad you're going to have a panel to talk more about it because, look, I'm open to being wrong. Some people aren't open to being wrong, but I'm looking for it, and I'm not finding it.
I'm open to being wrong, too, and I'm right along with you. I cannot find it. It's no shade to OG, but I just can't find it in a lot of the stuff that she's been to. I just don't.
I honestly feel like it's a combination of stuff. Like, I feel like is bullying, is judging others. Like, I feel like from the moment she, like, let's be honest, I'm like, to be completely honest, I do get what y'all saying, because when Tammy came on, she looked like she was visibly like didn't fit in, and they kind of singled her out too. Like, they kind of like made her feel a type of way too. So they did the same thing with Royce. Like, they was talking about how Royce dress is different from them, how her hair is different from them. So I feel like it's a combination of different things. But I definitely feel like as soon as OG came, they immediately judged her. I'm gonna be honest. Her first season, some of them outfit choices and those makeup choices and those wig choices that she had.
Thank you.
Was a little questionable. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Thank you.
I was kind of looking like, no, I wonder.
Thank you.
You know, I get it. And I feel like, I still don't feel like it was a
Not
reason
to mention,
call her a monkey, though.
No.
Right, it wasn't. There was never a good reason for that. And Evelyn can never explain that away.
But I think that another thing in regards to the colorism thing is when, okay, because this is why I've been getting so, like, a little bit agitated when it comes down to the whole people talking about OG and her attitude. I feel like it kind of plays into the colorism narrative when OG's attitude is the only one that's being called out, but then you have people like Evelyn that has been notorious for having a bad attitude, and no one is saying anything about her attitude, or Shawnee, who has been notorious for having an attitude, but chose to use a subtle but passive aggressive sort of way to be a bitch. But it's okay for them to be one because, you know, of whatever. So you got OG, the darker skinned one, you know what I mean, who is very upfront, very assertive with her opinions or how she feels about something. And the first thing that we say is her attitude is shitty, her attitude is terrible. That could be true. But if you're going to talk about her attitude, then call everybody else to the forefront too. Because that's all I keep saying. They don't like OG because she got a bad attitude. We don't like OG because she got a bad attitude. But these are the same people that says that they love them some Evelyn and Shawnee, but they have bad attitudes. So it's like when you picking apart OG and her attitude, and you're not saying anything to the other women about theirs, it kind of does play into the whole colorism narrative without you even knowing that it's playing into it. Because Tammy also had a bad attitude.
And are you saying this to the people that do see it for Shawnee and Evelyn? Or are you saying it for the people that don't see it for them, but you get what I'm saying?
I'm saying it just in general. What I'm saying is I can understand how it looks to be that way if you're constantly calling out one person and their actions. Because again, we're calling out OG and her attitude, but we're also calling out OG and her quote unquote aggression. But yet, Tammy and Evelyn have been notorious for having fucked up attitudes.
I don't agree with them with the aggression. I don't agree with them with the aggression at all.
But yet, OG.
I don't agree with that. Because if they could sit in the same room, if they could sit in the same room with two bitches that threw a table and threw wine bottles, y'all aren't that afraid to be around somebody that's aggressive. So I'm damn sure not there with them trying to make her out to be an aggressive bitch. OG has never
That's
put
what
her
I'm
hands on
saying.
nobody.
But that's
OG
what I'm
has
saying.
never laid her hands on anybody.
See,
So
but that's what I'm saying.
I'm not with them with that.
It can play into that whole colorism narrative. It can easily look that way because the dark skinned woman got this attitude, and she's assertive, and oh my God, I'm scared. I gotta put her in another room. She's aggressive.
Yeah, I
But
didn't like that reunion.
Yeah, I
Tammy
don't
has
agree with
mushed
that.
people. Evelyn has thrown
Yep,
drinks at people, hit people
yep.
upside the head with purses, jumped across tables, and all of that other stuff. But it's okay. But the let OG do the same thing, and she's Godzilla. It plays into that whole narrative of it being colorism. See, like I said, I don't understand it a lot, but I can kind of see why there's the narrative there. That is why. Because it's like if you're gonna call out OG for her shit, then you need to call out Evelyn for her shit. And it goes more so than it's favoritism. It's a bigger conversation than that. It's more so than favoritism. It's also about the way she looks. If OG was dressed up like Evelyn was and had a bomb ass weave in her head, no one would have anything to say about her and her attitude. It's just like when people be on social media and they say, well, OG is ugly, and with her being ugly, she ain't got no right to act like that being so fucking ugly. I've seen people say that. So if you're
Mm,
pretty, that allows you to be a bitch. But
mm.
because I'm ugly, I can't be a bitch.
Hold on, y'all. I gotta go back to work, but thank you for letting me come on, Scotty. And it was nice to meet you, Andre. K Empire. I hope I said your name right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Terrence.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye bye.
Well, you know
But
what it is. Like look, at the reunion, I felt like they definitely that to me definitely was very problematic. Definitely hinting on the area of colorism and prejudice against OG because, like you said, she wasn't physically violent with anyone. For them to put her on a whole separate stage, I thought that was ridiculous, and I will still stand by that. Um, but like you said, like this new season, I'm just like, okay, so what are we doing here? I can't see them coming back.
they
To
can't
do
come back.
what? They definitely weren't even interesting enough to come back. But one of the things that someone put in the chat, and I think it's important to talk about when we talk about colorism was created by white people to separate us as a people. And one of the biggest things that I was hoping at the end of the season would happen was some sort of unity, some sort of resolution. If anything, I'm just seeing this divisiveness that continues within our community, and we need to kind of let that go and just of course call colorism out when it comes up, but we can't allow this to be perpetuated continuously, especially on reality TV.
Let me hold 1 second. Hold on 1 second. That's a lie. She did not ask to be separated on the reunion. Tammy
Yeah.
asked to be separated. OG. Thank you. Next.
I just
Go
wanted to
ahead.
come on. I just wanted to come on real quick, just because, just to add to the blank colorism or just the separation in general. Like even during the season, the episode when Cece went off on Evelyn, when Cece was minding her business and Kristen was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go over there and give her a piece of my mind." So they all went over there, including Malaysia. But then you see OG get up there, and then Shawnee like, "OG, what are you doing?" And she's like, I'm just chilling. Like, what are you like? Why don't you get on Malaysia for following her and Evelyn and all that?" But they always want to paint her like the bad guy, and I was just like, they've been doing that from the gate, but they really showed at the reunion. It's like it's been like that the entire season. So for people to be like, "Oh, it's just all OG," nah, no, I can't get with that. I can't get with that.
And then on her wing lane.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
then she
I can believe
right.
On the episode, they
I see we
continuously.
got other we have two other people here. Sunshine and I hope I do not like to mispronounce people's names. Please say your name because I don't want to say it wrong.
My name is Ian
Is it
Hurston.
Ion?
Yes, Ian.
Okay. Okay. Because I know the four of us been talking our asses off up here, so I want to hear from y'all too, right, real quick. So, what y'all got to say about the situation at hand?
I personally, like, I'm East African, and a lot of time I see myself within my own community. People discriminate each other on the basis of their hair, their African features, and color as well. So I found it like really unrealistic for people such as Empire to kind of like say that she doesn't experience colorism, because evidently like throughout the episodes she actually has experienced colorism, especially as a Nigerian. Because
I
even
didn't
like
I didn't say she didn't experience
African,
colorism, but I was every time she brought it up, I was like, that's not colorism. Every time this season that she's brought it up, I'm like, that's not the definition of colorism.
I mean, from Jackie, because like she was comparing to Jackie, how Jackie has been colorist to her own daughter, who her son like literally got burned,
Well,
and
she
he
didn't
didn't
bring
make
that up. You
contact
brought
her
that
within
up.
like 3 months. And evidently for her to like treat her lighter skinned daughter and trashing her
That
dark skinned
definitely would
daughter
be colorism,
and
but
making her live
remember,
like
she
in a
didn't
whole
bring that up.
different house, kind of like clearly like demonstrate how colorist they are within the group. And the fact that like nobody's even supporting her or helping her is just, it's just weird. Like people just standing by and just watching her get bashed from every angle and from every aspect. And the fact that Tammy, like, she does experience colorism, because why? I mean, they dress really badly in the first season, but like when they enter, however, Tammy was kind of like bullied. She didn't dress good. Well, nobody kept saying that she's ugly.
They never saw it for
Did you
Tammy
guys
though.
see?
They low
Like,
key
they
never
keep
saw it
calling
for
her
Tammy.
ugly constantly throughout this basketball wives. I didn't notice. I mean, it was an extent of time, but the way they aggressively keep repeating it over and over and over again, clearly it stems from somewhere, which is obviously her African features. Because even within the African continent, because I'm Somali, Africa, that's featurism. People say that Ethiopians and East African Somalis, Eritreans are way more prettier because we got more like Western features. I mean European features, because of the mix of Arabs that Somalis and Ethiopian mixed with. So it's more desirable. So like that's the kind of like stuff that has. And even within the UK, because I live in the UK, you see a lot of colorism. You don't even see black people represented. Even like this Christmas, last year Christmas, white people got pissed off at black people. There was a whole like family like commercial of just black people. People are literally just bashing us. So like you can see how colorism comes from white people. However, we as black people implement it within ourselves, and we have to accept that. And the fact that people want to keep staying ignorant and keep blaming that she's ugly, she's aggressive, is fucked up, honestly. And I don't know how people can keep pressing her, and the fact that they keep editing and they're not showing like the full scenario, obviously we're gonna misunderstand it. So I just feel like it's not fair. Nobody's giving her like a chance to explain herself and experience.
I personally feel how close Evelyn and Shawnee are. I feel like because Evelyn's going through this legal issue, I feel like Shawnee has got her in her pocket and is using this show to make it discredit OG because OG got them receipts. That's how I truly feel.
And it's probably why Shawnee decided not to go over there, because I'm sure this whole lawsuit is probably going to tie her up in it as a witness as well. So that's probably why she didn't go over there, because she's like, if I say anything or do anything, this might get me too deep in this situation. But if you continue to do a show and you're an executive producer, I do feel like Shawnee should have went over and had a conversation.
It makes it a hostile work environment when you can't even go to your boss and complain about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something that I thought would have been really good for the ladies, I thought it would have been good if they had a therapist or someone to come in to mediate the issue, because I just don't think the ladies have the tools on their own to address the issue. And I think that's evident from, this entire season. We are still leaving with no resolve, which is why I think the show probably won't continue on for another season. I think that one of the important things that OG mentioned in the episode last night, she didn't say that everyone in the group was a colorist. And this was the scene when her and Jackie were outside. And I believe there was one more lady amongst them talking. But she mentioned that there's a colorism issue amongst the entire group. And I think what a lot of you guys pointed out is what she meant by that. You have some people in the group who are colorists, meaning Evelyn, Shawnee. And I think that reason is because, again, they're the lighter skin tone. If we're going by America's standards of beauty, when it comes to, getting chose because of their looks, their skin tone, they're the first ones that the guys are going to go after. Again, this is from America's beauty standards. And because OG doesn't fit their definition of beauty, and because they're favorited amongst the group, and because the ladies want to be a part of their circle, you have ladies who are willing to be complicit in their silence. You have women who are willing to, sit around and watch them mistreat other women. And, maybe you don't have a hand in it per se, but you're not going to say anything because you want to be a part of this group, or you want to be liked, or because, looking at the show as a whole, the people who have the most filming time is going to be your Shawnees and your Evelyns. And because you want to keep a paycheck coming in, you want to be close to these people so that you can keep your paycheck coming in. So I think that all of that plays a role. And I think that, again, there is a colorism issue amongst the group, but I think that it would have been helpful to have a therapist come in to address those issues and break down the layers. Because the ladies just can't do it on their own.
I mean, they did it on Real Housewives of Atlanta. What season was that?
Yes.
Season 7?
Yes.
When they had the whole group come together, and they all had a discussion. That was whatever season Claudia was
Claudia
on.
Jordan. Yes.
I agree, Shanisha. I think they definitely don't have the tools to bring a resolution to this, and I think people watching want to see a resolution. And if there was an outside party to come in and have this conversation with them, we probably would have been like, wow, you know what? I learned a lot from this situation, and kudos to them. And maybe they possibly could have another season. I'm surprised that no one thought of that.
Just like Scotty said, what season? Well, season 5. Season 5 was supposed to be their redemption season, but that's when the show originally got canceled. So then once Drea left LA, that's when Shawnee and Tammy came in to save that season. Then they eventually absorbed that season, made it the original Basketball Wives, and trashed this one. So Shawnee can only thank herself for this foolishness.
Yeah. I think what a lot of people are forgetting and not really putting into perspective, this is a TV show. Forget the word reality. This is a TV show. They're doing TV. That's exactly what they're doing. However, within them doing TV, they brought up a real life issue, which I feel is amongst our community, no one else's. And I personally feel, especially as a light-skinned woman, I am totally Black, even though I have lighter skin, I have gray eyes, I'm still Black. Both of my parents are Black. I live in Detroit, Michigan. I lived in the hood. I grew up in the hood. I have always got, because she's light-skinned, she thinks she's better. Because she's light-skinned, she thinks this. No one ever even took the time out to speak with me to know what I think. I have a best friend that we have now been best friends for almost a decade. We met at work. We were in a training group together. Her first remark to me when we actually had a one-on-one conversation, and she is a darker skinned girl, I did not like you because when you came in, you just looked like you had an attitude. She literally said that to me, and we're taking Steve's now. Our children are best friends, everything. But she literally said that it's a problem amongst our community. If me and any of these beautiful young ladies that's right here on the screen right now walked into a room full of all Caucasian people, unfortunately, the only thought in their mind is 2 Black women walk in, not a dark-skinned woman and a light-skinned woman walk in. That's what we see. That's
but
what we think. And
I feel like that's
problem
like a
within
separate
us.
issue, though. I feel like that's a separate issue because at the moment it's colorism. That's racism. So we really need to focus on the colorism topic because that's the main issue within our community. Because first we need to
That's
sort
exactly
out
my
our
point.
community
We
and
are doing the
problem with our
colorism.
community.
It's us that's
We
doing
uplift
it.
other people, certain features, certain hair textures. This is the problem. The fact that we don't love ourselves is the problem. And the fact that nobody is accepted it. I feel like we never usually see on TV people talking colorism. This is the new thing. Colorism was a taboo back in the day. Ain't nobody talking about it. Even on YouTube, now people are making money out of it. So everybody's talking about colorism. It's the new hot topic. But this shit is old. And I hate when people trying to make it sound like, oh my gosh, this is not a big issue. It is a big issue. It just doesn't affect you. I don't necessarily experience colorism, but I experience featureism.
Can I intervene?
I'm born in Denmark. That's like Danish as fuck. Like, this is white people. This is Anglo-Saxon, the Vikings, where they came from. I experienced racism to the highest extent. But when I moved to this country, England, I saw black people cussing each other out, telling each other, oh, you're darker than me. Oh, you have big lips. Oh, you don't have these certain features. Oh, that's disgusting. Like, for me to experience that, and especially it was from black men, is a lot of time black men that always criticize black women's features, trying to tell them, oh, you look manly as a black woman, you don't have the right features.
I disagree.
You know what I mean? And I've seen it.
I disagree with that.
It's not everybody, but a lot of times that's what I noticed from my experience.
Both black men and black women. Because some women would tell you, oh, you have, even from the childhood, your mother can tell you, oh, you with your big nose, with your burnt skin, or some stuff like that. So I don't necessarily think that it only applies to black men. I don't think that
from my experience, that's what I experienced.
I think it comes from all both, because I have experience too. For example, you talked about futurism, and that I agree a lot, because when some women tell me I'm beautiful, not to be all arrogant about myself, but when they tell me that I am beautiful, they always say that I have a small nose, I don't have that much of lips, all stuff like that. And it never comes from black men. Black men don't tell me I'm beautiful because of my features. From my experience, it comes more from black women. So I'm not
because
sure.
Women
we can only call black men. Well. I think it's a combination of both.
We can't talk over each other, but everybody talk one at a time. Oh my God.
One at a time.
I'm just trying to justify for what she. I mean, I'm just replying back to her. I'm not saying it's not only that, but I've noticed that's another problem. I'm not denying the fact that it's a lot of women, because when you look at Instagram, how many black women are trashing OG is disgusting. They have the same skin color like her, the same freaking features like her, and here they are cussing her out. So I accept that, but it's just the fact that colorism is a big issue that haven't been sorted out yet, and we can never. And what I hate most is when we blame white people. It's nothing to do with white people. It's not about. And
how is colorism a big issue, and y'all making it an issue? Y'all making it an issue. It's a delusional thought to sit there and say, "Oh, I'm black, I'm light skinned, I'm dark." I've been around all races. Okay, I'm 54 years old. I've been around all races. Y'all sitting over here sounding really ridiculous, sitting there arguing about something, some kind of narrative that somebody's pushing in a reality show. That's ridiculous. That came from OG and OG alone. But Basketball Live has never had this type of problem before until OG got on the scene.
Hey, give me 1 second. Like, give me 1 second, please. Whoever isn't talking at the moment, can y'all put y'all mics on mute?
Hi everyone.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me address Scotty, I love you. But let me address the real. What you're saying is something that I witnessed without OG saying anything. If you don't understand what colorism is, then you cannot identify when it is happening, right? I am from the Caribbean.
We talking about, I don't understand.
Let me explain to you what
you don't need to explain anything to me. You don't know nothing about. You don't know nothing about Black American struggle over here. You are Caribbean. You're Caribbean. I am Black American. I am Native American. You know nothing about Black struggle in America through history. You know nothing about her.
Okay.
Like, that was very rude.
I'm gonna have to yeah, cause listen, just no. You're muted at the moment. You're muted. We have to be able to have a conversation. We can't be aggressive. Now we're gonna have a conversation, fine, but let's not be argumentative. That's all I'm asking. Now I'm gonna unmute y'all.
Hey,
Let her,
Scotty, let me just say this.
let her
I
talk.
think
Go
that
ahead.
I think that, something, whether people want to agree that colorism is an issue, I think that, it's an issue that dates way back to slavery times. This is when you had, lighter skin tone blacks in the house, darker skin tones in the fields. And the idea of that was, if you're lighter, then you're working in the house. And we have formed this idea that means you were better because you didn't have to be out all day picking cotton from sun up to sundown with blisters on your hands all damn day. So to an extent, this dates all the way back to those times. There has always been an ideology that if you are lighter, you are better than. And this goes across countries. If you're, let's say you're looking at whatever race, Indian, Mexican, Puerto Rican, if you are of a darker hue, the idea is that lighter is better because that's the way we've been conditioned in society. I think that one of the points that I wanted to bring up, just to tie it back to something that one of the ladies mentioned about this being a TV show, I think that going forward, the way colorism is addressed with these reality shows is going to be so interesting because if you guys think about it, OG is the first African woman on Basketball Wives. Wendy Osefo was the first African woman of the Real Housewives franchise. And both of these women were labeled aggressive by lighter skinned women who in their own ways have been aggressive or had aggressive behavior. So it's something that we have to look at, how the moment an African sister steps on the scene and she gets aggressive with her talking, not even actions, her speaking is aggressive or authoritative, or, she's firm in who she is, she's labeled aggressive. I don't want to be around you. You're violent. Even though, again, the women who have deemed these women aggressive have showed aggressive behaviors in their own right. So, again, I think it'll be interesting to see how reality TV addresses this issue moving forward, because it'll be an issue across the board.
All right. And can I ask a question for Daryl? I just want to ask a question for Daryl. Just because somebody from the Caribbean is talking about colorism, you cannot deny the experiences that people go through. As a man, you're so privileged to think that, oh, it's only in Africa. Have you actually traveled around the world to kind of understand the issue? Have you traveled somewhere other than America? Daryl?
I'm in New York City. America, all of the world. All of the world. Excuse me.
Have you ever traveled other countries?
Can I answer?
Yeah, answer.
Thank you. Okay, because you long-winded. You ain't gonna let me speak when I'm dead. I'm 54 years old. Okay, listen. I live in New York City. I live in New York City. I live in New York City. Hello, I live in New York City. Okay, I live in New York City. I live in the Bronx. There are Africans, there are Caribbeans, there are all kinds of people from all different places around the world. Correct? If anybody know about New York City, they know about that. Okay.
Because you denied the lady from the Caribbean about the experience.
Can I answer the question? There's Caribbean people all over New York City. Okay.
Yeah, but do you have colorism debates with them? Do you know anything about it? Since you think you're
Do I have what?
Do you have any experience debating about colorism with other people from different nationalities?
We don't have debates like this because we treat each other the same over here. We treat each other the same over here. Nobody walks down the street and say, "Oh, I don't like you because you're light skin or dark skin around here." We don't do that around here.
I think that your statement is kind of ignorant. You can generalize an entire continent over some example you met on your life. That's not fair to say that. You can talk like that about the all African continent. Every person is different. It's like me saying that all African American are this or that just because I met with ignorant one. That's stupid. Sorry. You can't say that. That's very offensive.
Let me say this.
I am Senegalese, all right? No, I'm Senegalese, all right? I do know that. No, I'm Senegalese, right?
New kids on the block. Okay.
reality TV with African American. All right. It doesn't mean that I generalize African American as such, as such, as such. You can do that. That's very ignorant and offensive.
No,
you
you're
can
being
do that. That's ignorant. You go there. You go there and make your opinion there. You don't say. You don't say. That's a statement about the whole community. That's not fair. We are all different.
Hold on.
That's very offensive what you said.
Got it.
It's like white people saying that all African American like that. That's not fair. You don't say that.
No, but like when I talk about like traveling, I traveled to Africa. No. But when we're talking about like travel wise, because for some reason you're very ignorant, Ariel.
No, let me talk.
Let me just.
Everybody got along. Everybody said this much, and I can't say nothing, right?
It's not about nothing. It's
just a lot.
Let me jump in real quick. Okay, so as an
hold on, everybody's going on mute. Everybody's going on mute right quick. Hold on, everybody's going on mute because I'm getting frustrated at this moment. Everybody's going on mute right now. Okay. Now, I'm trying to give everybody a chance to speak at this moment. Now, I know a lot of us don't really want to hear what Real has to say, but I do want to give him a chance to say stuff because I don't want to come across as biased and not giving nobody else a turn to speak. You know what I'm saying? So I want to give everybody that chance. So I'm going to let him say what he needs to say first. And then I'm going to allow the flower who just came in to say what she has to say because she's been wanting to talk. And then I'm going to let Peach say what she has to say. You know what I mean? Now, they real get too disrespectful now. You're gonna have to go. Because you have been very aggressive. So just be respectful in what you're saying. That's all I'm saying. Now go ahead.
What I'm about to say, I'm talking from my experience, okay? I'm a 54-year-old Native American Black cultured man, okay? I'm talking from my experience, from living in New York City all my life, okay? I lived around Africans, I live around Caribbean people, I live around Latino people, I live around many different people, okay? We have a store around here, it's an African store, restaurant. They don't even have any kind of marketing or branding that they allow other people to come in their restaurant and taste. They don't even bother with the American people around here. They don't even talk to us. They don't even be involved with business. They don't even talk. They don't even come and even talk to us when we walk down the street. All they want is our money. Okay. So about the colorism thing, it is yes. You were right, Shanisha. Is derived from slavery because the light skin would be in the house, and then the dark skinned ones would be outside in the fields. Okay. We all know that from reading history. We all know that. But today in 2021. We do not need to be on social media worrying about one person mentioning about colorism for all the world to see. And now it's a big issue again. Remember school days? Remember Spike Lee was talking about good hair and the light-skinned girls was against each other. Remember school days, everybody? Did anybody see Spike Lee's school days? No, nobody saw Spike Lee's school days, did they? And can anybody check? Can I get any kind of verification that y'all seen Spike Lee's school days? Did anybody see it?
I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say here. You're saying is really not making any sense to me.
I'm saying that colorism is a delusional.
Let me finish. Because of the fact that you feel as though because of what you experienced, that means that a person on TV cannot speak on what they've experienced. That doesn't make any sense to me. If that's what she's experienced on said show, then she has every right to speak on that experience on said show. So what are you trying to say here? I'm really trying to understand, honestly. I am.
Well, to understand, OG is an African woman. Okay? Who the fuck calling me? Sorry.
So is he done?
No, sorry, I got a call. I got a phone, a video call. Sorry about that. Okay. But the thing is, OG is an African woman. Okay, she has not gone through Black American struggles like we have been going through Black American struggles, dealing with colorism and racism at the same time. I have white people in my family. I got Native American people in my family. I got Latino people in my family. We do not talk about colorism and trying to shame each other because we are different shades of black. I embrace all shades of black.
So,
But the thing is, it's not
so
about colorism. It's about class. It's about economic status. That's what we need to be sitting here discussing. How we shun each other about how much money we have and we don't have. That's what we need to be talking about.
that doesn't
Scott,
make any
you ready
sense to
for me?
me.
I'm ready.
But go ahead, the flower. Go ahead, the flower. Go ahead.
I have to go, y'all.
Okay.
Nice conversation. I'll read the comments. I appreciate all of y'all.
All right.
Be blessed in the Lord. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Empire.
So, all right. As a native to America, African American one, whatever, with a degree holding historian, I on one hand I don't even want to address that real because I feel like he's gaslighting us on purpose, but just knowing how ignorant a lot of people are, a lot of people actually do think like him. Just reading the comments under the Basketball Wives pages and all this and the third. The fact is, colorism is real, not only in America, it's real around the world. He's saying like, oh, everyone knows history and this and the third. Everyone does not know history. Everyone does not know how the Spaniards and the Brits went around colonizing the world and putting up their white archetype of Jesus to denote that white is right. And then in turn, colorism being a branch of racism, the closer you are to white, the greater your proximity is, i.e. Meghan Markle being able to pass for white in America and not in Britain. So the ignorance of him saying that, oh, the Africans don't know our struggle. Does he not know what Africans have gone through on their own continent with the colonizers coming in and pitting?
Oh,
Okay,
go
I got a
ahead.
phone.
You
Okay,
might need some history lessons.
but does he not understand what really happened? Like, if you even look at the whole issue with the Hutus and the Tutsis, they pit groups against each other. This is by design. This is to diminish us from our throne of being the originals on the earth and put exalting someone who is foreign to this earth above us. And if we are infighting, we're not looking at them defeating us. And that's all I got to say about it. I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. And everyone, honestly, I don't want to leave you without some material to read to educate yourself on this. I do recommend everyone to get the ISIS Papers by Dr. Francis Cress Wilson and also Urugu by Marimba Annie. It will definitely enlighten you. Also, there's a book called Iberian Roots of American Racist Thoughts by James Sweet. I definitely recommend everyone reading that. You can find the James Sweet article on Google. Peace. Y'all be blessed.
Thank you for coming up. Okay, Peach and Kai, y'all been on here a while, and y'all haven't been able to speak yet. So I'm gonna let y'all two speak, and then we're gonna keep it going around. Go ahead, Peach and Kai, y'all can unmute y'all mics.
Okay. Hi again, everybody. Why I'm in the States. Let me just say that just in case somebody think I can't speak on my experience growing up in the Caribbean and what I've witnessed being here in the United States. Okay? Colorism is something that is taught for, say, we're enslaved for 400 years. At what point were we ever taught what truly happened? We were told that Christopher Columbus discovered the Caribbean. The Caribbean was never lost for it to be discovered. There were persons occupying the Caribbean. When they brought persons to the Africans as slave to the Caribbean, right? Like they did many other places. After that period of enslavement, persons were led to believe that they were inferior to the slave master or the slave owners. To this day, there is no real education on how to de-socialize what we were taught as kids, and even before our grandparents were taught this. Our great grandparents were taught this. So what do you think we were going to learn? Only what they knew, right? And they were taught that the closer you are to being white, and I'll give you an example of colorism. If your grandmother chose or your grandfather chose a brown woman because they want their child to be a little whiter, so they have a better opportunity in life, that is colorism without even them themselves knowing or understanding that they are doing these things. You get what I'm saying? When you are, say for instance, in the Caribbean, before now and things are getting a little better, if you were just light skinned, you could get a job in the bank. But if you were black, you can't even get a job. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those things are colorism. No, because it was taught from the stage of from before you were even born. When OG referred to your parents don't a black parent says get your black ass out the bed. When you put labels on us, right? We yes, one thing happens, we believe this is true. We believe it is okay because everybody's saying it, right? But we don't know the root cause of them saying it. You'll never hear a white person say to their kids, you're white, because they know the significance of labeling things, of labeling
Yeah.
people. The way that they have held us down for so many years is by labeling us. They label us black and ugly. Oh, you're too black to you're too pretty to be to be black. You have good hair for being a black person, right? Everything that is you're aggressive, the aggressive narrative is a label. The point is, we are the only people that are being labeled as anything. Why is it that in 2021 we are still saying, oh, we have the first black vice president, oh, we had the first black president, oh, this is the first black person to win a Emmy or whatever it is? The mere fact that we're still having so many firsts black to do means that there is still a deep-seated issue in this country that has, in this world, as a matter of fact, that has not been addressed. And the racism is one aspect of it, but among our own people, it is colorism. We can't be racist against each other. We can only be colorist. We pick the person that is closest to where you want to be, which is being white. Whether it be co-signing, which is what OG was saying, a lot of them are in proximity of being colorist because they're co-signing by not saying, no, this is wrong. Do not use the N-word around me. You get what I'm saying? You're co-signing everything that is going on in the proximity of the collective. And by co-signing, you are equally guilty. If something is wrong and you don't call it out, you're saying it is right.
Okay, hold on 1 second, Peach. Not to interrupt you. Give me 1 second. I know that there are some people that are still trying to come up here, but I'm trying to allow everybody that's up here to say their piece first before I allow anybody else up here. Is there anybody else up here that has anything
Well, I
else to
haven't
say
spoken
before I
yet.
let Peach continue? Who?
I haven't spoken at all.
Okay. 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 I'm just speaking to the ones that's been up here longer than you. If y'all have anything else, y'all we continue so I can allow others to come up, or y'all still got some stuff on your mind.
I've said everything, Scotty. I'll jump off so some other people can go ahead and hop on. I really enjoyed the conversation, everybody. You all be blessed, okay?
All right. Thank you for coming up. Okay. Peach, you can continue your point, and
Yeah,
then
I'm
we
not
can give
going
it
to
to
be too
Kai.
much longer. No other persons need to be on here. I'm just saying that even with the Black Lives Matters protest, when you see how many black person just voted for Trump, just tells you that we don't even understand when things are being done to us. When we're all right. Even the one that came off just now that said we should be talking about classism and equal equity. How can we have, if you're being discredited just by the complexion of your skin, how are you going to have equal financial obligations, equal anything? You're not seen as equal just barely by just simply by being born into the skin color that you are. You're not seen as equal. How do you expect the world is going to treat you financially equal? The thing is, yes, a few Black people are successful. Yes, a few Black people have white people pushing them in the direction to be successful. That doesn't mean that OG's experience or what other people are experiencing are not valid, because the media and so perpetrate that, oh, Black people are being successful and Black people are getting ahead. It doesn't mean that the grassroots people, the people that are at the lower socioeconomic background, aren't facing these things. And it doesn't mean that when you go up into society, you're not going to face them either. It simply means that this is something that is not being discussed. It is something that a lot of us don't truly understand. And because you don't understand, if we make ignorant comments and we try to invalidate someone else's experience because we don't understand that some of the things that we experience ourselves were colorist. Were someone being colorist again. So if you don't understand, then that's why most people have the opinions that they have. And that's just my little so you can add.
Oui, c'est bon. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Sorry.
Hi. Okay. So
Hi.
for background,
She's waiting.
yeah. For background context, I come from a Black multicultural family. My mom's from Jamaica. My stepdad's from Nigeria. My dad's from here. My grandma is a yellow freckled woman who sharecropped in Mississippi. So the idea that people who are not from America wouldn't understand colorism blows my mind. I understand that I am a safe brown woman, that I will never hear that I'm pretty for a dark-skinned girl, that someone will not fetishize me because I am light-skinned. And the idea that there's not socioeconomic status tied to what your color is. In the Caribbean, they create a whole nother subsection of race because white people want to allow their kids to have something which is called mulattoes in the Caribbean. They create a whole nother socioeconomic status for them to be able to live, not like Black people, but not be like propped up like white people. We just don't have that in America. That's the only thing. It's determined about who you're around, and that's why also we have a lot of biracial women calling themselves Black, raised by white women, because they understand the privilege they can get from Black men when they entrench themselves into Black culture. That's why Meghan Markle does not consider herself a Black woman, because she's seen what her Black mother has actually gone through, and knows that will never be her life. But we have mulattoes of the world who want to rap and call herself mulatto. I don't understand, because she was raised by a Black woman, and her father she's probably seen her father fetishize her mother, and understands, hey, I can really do something here around Black men. We are still in colorism when we are equating Black women who have darker skin to animals. Like, we cannot act like Tiana Taylor was not called a dog like less than a year ago, and that a whole bunch of Black men were underneath those comments praising it. Or Snoop Dogg wasn't talking about her wearing her hair out for Ariana Lennox when she wears her hair out all the time. She just wants to play with wigs. I lost my mind. And I think it's interesting on television shows that we don't want to give validation. Some people don't want to give validation to it because it is just a TV show, but TV shows, and in some point, especially reality TV shows, try to reflect some bits of real life. And I think she's off now, but the fact is, like, you could see the colorism on Basketball Wives before OG ever said anything. And the idea that Evelyn Zod's Afro-Latina is hilarious. I think, again, because she understood the privilege that she gets from being exotical in Black culture. I understand that privilege, and I'm a very much so Black presenting woman. Once a Black man hears my mom's Jamaican, oh, their tone. The way that they ask me if I can wine for them and all that kind of stuff. Like, even white men still. So the idea that there's not that in America and it's just about economics and just kind of like, that is why we see a lot of Black men marry white women and or non-Black women once they get a come up. And it's weird to me that Darrell didn't speak to that, especially like when you think of New York and all of like the New York rappers, the Jay-Z's of the world and everything like that, how they have very much so people who are accepted into white culture. I mean, Beyonce's she's Black, but she has, different features than the average Black woman. And I think people don't want to have that discussion. We're talking about the average Black woman. We're not talking about the Beyoncés.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second, Kai. Let me give this person their attention once again. Hold on one second. There is colorism. Now you shut the fuck up. Go ahead, Kai.
My grandmother was called a red bone in Mississippi. I think there's colorism. I think she chose a dark-skinned Black woman because she didn't want her children to end up like that. I think my uncles who are albino had issues because white people knew they weren't white and something was off, and Black people thought, you could have a better life than me. But they were just albino. Nothing they could do about it. So I think colorism is real. I think it is real when my albino uncle could never accept that he was Black or had issues with his skin tone because he knew he stuck out and that no one would accept him. I think there's colorism in that. When your grandma grows up being called a red bone, people sexualizing her in the 1940s. I think there's colorism. Just saying. And I think also Darrell was confused in the sense of relating colorism to culture. Yeah, some African people probably don't want to talk to African Americans. Like, it happens because the propaganda that's sold to them in Africa about the idea of what Black Americans are, which a lot of immigrants see that imagery, which is why there is a conversation of representation. You have, some Black people who grew up in China and Japan who worry about how that affects them because the only thing that those people see of Black people are what's on TV. And that's why representation is such a big deal for all Black people who are all around the world, especially since American TV is the top dog, you would say. And that colorism isn't any other communities. I'm just kind of like, if you have Netflix and you've seen all the different Indian TV shows that have been coming up, they're all Indians who look like they probably have some European ancestry. There's a reason why telenovelas. Oh, what happened?
Hold on one more second. I have to acknowledge the ignorance once again.
Man, what?
You see what I have to deal with. You see what I have to deal with.
Bill Williams doesn't have a man now, so I don't understand why that would matter.
He is crazy. Tu as malade mental.
But go ahead,
wow.
Go ahead.
I don't know how that makes sense because Jennifer has not reflected any kind of self-love on this TV show ever in her life. And that is because she probably doesn't accept the color of her skin because she probably grew up hearing that she was pretty for a dark-skinned girl. I understand her dark skin is a negative for her. Like, I mean, I can see this beautiful, tall Black woman just following under this little chihuahua of Evelyn Lozada. And we have Kristen turning on family because she wants to be accepted. And I think people also want to say it's not colorism because lighter skinned white women have been bullied on the show, but they don't understand those light skinned women and other light skinned women and white women were bullied on the show because they were a threat to Evelyn and Shawnee, not because there is no colorism. Think about how fast Evelyn had an issue with Cece. And I think it's because she knows in her circle of life, Cece would be the next step up for a Black man who was chasing an Evelyn, that they would probably pick a Cece over an Evelyn. And so I think people don't want to question that. Like, colorism goes both ways in a sense. And unfortunately, there is a hierarchy of race and color. And so I think they've always gone after the white women or the light-skinned women who aren't Evelyn and Shawnee because Evelyn and Shawnee are supposed to be the bad ones on the show. So it's interesting how every time there is a light-skinned woman or a white woman or whatever, they always seem to chase them off. Cece never had an issue with nobody. She was a little quiet, she was a little sneaky, but like all of them are, all little shady women. But it just seems so interesting how Evelyn just really went for her. And I think it's the first Asian woman who was on the show. And if we look to see, the Asian woman will be picked over the Evelyn Zadas of the world because of the whole submissive situation that Black men and other men have in their minds that all Asian women are submissive. That's a whole nother situation. So I think people don't want to accept that. Like, yeah, it's about the Black women, but they also like to keep their stakes on who they are on that show. Shawnee likes to be the head BIC in charge. You really can't be the head BIC in charge when you have a Filipino woman who's a nurse and who's opening up, she's opening up different clinics with Sephora and all that kind of stuff, and marrying a basketball player on arena. Like, you can't really be the head BIC. You can't be an Evelyn Zada compared to that. And I think people haven't thought about colorism fully in that way when it's colorism intersected with race as well. Because I think it would have been different if Cece was a dark-skinned Filipino woman. Then you probably would have been able to categorize it initially as colorism than because she was a lighter-skinned woman. Because it just, the way they tried to strip her of her femininity, calling her too quiet, and I'm just kind of like, well, maybe that's just her version of womanhood. but the way they tried to force her to be someone else, the way they tried to force OG to be someone else. And I think they also don't understand when it comes to culture of like, the sad thing of like Black Americans is that their culture is still so young. And so some people have pride and some people have pride, but you don't really know where you get it from. While if you're like Jamaican or Haitian or Nigerian or Ghanaian, you know your food, you know your language and all that kind of stuff. There's a different pride held to that. So you speak more from your chest. My mom, she could be telling you something nice, and sometimes, oh, woman, don't kill me. You know, she can pop off real quick because she is strong in who she is. And that's just because she knows where she comes from. And that's not a fault of Black Americans, that's a fault of white terrible people. So I think that also, like, they try to strip OG of her womanhood and of her culture because they want her to be submissive and weak to them. And I think that's most what I got. You know, I understand colorism. I understand my privilege as being a safe brown skinned woman. No one's ever gonna fetishize me for being light skinned. No one's ever gonna tell me I'm pretty for a dark skinned girl. Like, so this idea that it doesn't exist, I mean, we all have our disadvantages and privileges from it. See, what's her name? Oh, I can't remember that girl's name. Kristen has her privileges of it because of her hair, her nose, her eyes, her lips. And she knows that because she's from Louisiana, as Bunny Blue said. My grandma's from Mississippi. I do not understand someone from Louisiana talking about they don't understand colorism. That just...
Okay. Well,
I'm done.
well, you have made a lot of points. Go ahead, because you've been waiting to. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, because I've been reading the comments, and I have seen that some people say that colorism is an Afro-American issue. No, it's not. It's like a worldwide issue. It has been going on in African communities, in African American communities, in Asian communities, everywhere. Every non-white community has colorism issue within the people. So they real, I don't know what your name is. They real, yeah, that's they real. Stop saying nonsense, because what you say is bullshit. You
Oh, she messing up.
An African American issue. Stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it, because you've been pissing me off for some moment. I've been eating my truth while listening to your bullshit, and now I'm getting tired. I'm not angry anymore. I just want to read your ass because you've been saying some bullshit. I'm tired. Jesus. M'énerve. Sorry. I just wanted to say to let it out, because what you have been saying is some ignorant bullshit. Stop it. Oh la la, do you know that Indian people, the Indian men, you know that the India country is overpopulated with women. Men choose their wives based on skin color. They won't marry you because you are too dark. They won't marry you because you are too dark. And you say that colorism issue is just an African American thing? Stop it. What are you even talking about? Hey, m'énerve. Sorry, it's pissing me off.
I understand.
And for yeah, sorry, I had to say it. And sorry, what the lady said, I don't remember her name. The Jamaican Nigerian one. Sorry for not remembering your name. It's absolutely
no, she's
right.
called Peach.
When it comes
Peach.
to
She's called Peach.
Yes,
she's called Peach. Yeah, Peach.
I think she was talking about me if she said Nigerian.
No, she was Jamaican. Peach.
Oh, sorry, my bad. So you're Jamaican, right? What you said
no, you're talking about Peach. She's not on here anymore. I was saying that my mom's Jamaican, my stepdad's Nigerian, and my grandma's from Mississippi. That's what I was saying.
Oh, sorry. Okay, my bad for misinterpreting. What you said about some non-Black women taking advantage of the privilege that they have in the community is absolutely right. Don't you wonder why Evelyn dated nothing but Black men? When she tried to date that Mark Anthony guy, he didn't even claim her ass. He let her in, he hid it, and he quit because she's not worthy in their community. So now she wants to go to the African American community to have a higher up. That's the reality. And I have one thing that I really don't understand. Maybe it's because I'm freaking about the one drop. I don't know why people are so quick to claim anybody with just a bit of black in them, just for the sake of saying, yes, she has some African, she's one of us. Especially when they treat darker skinned people like that. That I really don't understand. Because Evelyn said that she was like 25% African and the part Senegalese. First of all, I don't claim that shit. I don't claim that shit. We don't claim people like that. We don't claim jumping bitches. This is jumping on table, running after women with bamboo sticks, trying to attack people from behind. No, we don't do that in Senegal. I'm sorry. That's not stuff we do. So she can leave it there. And I don't understand why people are buying that quick when she said what she said when she said year before that she wasn't black. I mean, it doesn't click to me. Maybe someone needs to educate me about that because I really don't get it. I really don't get it. I really, really don't get it. And one other thing, Jennifer is like the first token of the show. She's the first token. She was token before Token Scott. She's always following Evelyn Diane. You want to know why she has a back breath? It's because she's always licking Evelyn's back. Oh, that's why. That's why. That's why. I don't know why the issue. The woman throws drinks at you. She hits you with perks, but you still want to be friends with her. I don't understand. I don't understand. And you still condone the stuff that she did to OG. Because OG, wherever you think that she has a bad attitude or not, what they did to her was foul. It was foul. It was very unfair. I thought that it was just a favorite thing at first, but I still thought that it was disgusting. It was when the monkey thing came out that, yeah, now I realize that it was maybe colorism. And the fact that LaQuisha also posted the monkey something, that was the point.
Hold on one second. For those that's already spoken, to say, but I'm gonna need you guys to leave from up here for a second because I'm gonna end this in a little bit, and I just want to give everybody the chance who hasn't been able to speak a chance to speak, and there are two people that's waiting back here too. So yeah, so I'm gonna allow although I love your points, by the way, for the one that just I can't pronounce your name for shit, so I don't want to say your name wrong. The one with the braids. I've enjoyed all your points. I can't pronounce it.
My name is
Okay.
Aissatou. I hope that giving the real fee is right there because you never pronounced my name. My name is Aissatou.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming up. I'm gonna let Ashley and Marja and Desiree speak their pieces first, so we can wrap this on up. But thank you for coming up and stating your case. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Love you, Sati. Bye.
Love you too.
Can y'all
Ashley,
hear me?
Marja, and Desiree, y'all can unmute y'all mics and speak out.
Okay,
Yeah.
can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So like the colorism exists. Colorism is an issue. Like this boils down to the politics of desirability, and the reason why they had an issue with OG is because she doesn't fit into the social construct of what is considered to be desirable, because what's desirable is the closer you are to whiteness, that's what's desirable. And not only does she not fit into that, how dare she have the audacity to even have self-confidence and self-esteem and not allow them to talk shit to her and to talk down to her and to demean her and to make her question her place on that show. She showed up unattracted to them and she showed up confident. Two things that don't coexist to them. And so that was one issue, right? And so even outside of the colorism, even if she said that they were classist, they would have had an issue with that too, because it's not a good thing to be classist. So I'm not sure why homie is like, it's not colorism, it's classism. It's still a freaking problem. So why are we trying to like negate one to promote the other as if it's all not an issue? But even disregarding that, right? How they approach OG with these conversations is an issue. Like before OG even said it was colorism, viewers on the show were saying it was colorism. So like
Oh, she froze.
I think she.
yeah, I think she froze. Y'all disappeared on me so that she can have this storyline, so to speak, even though it's not her storyline, it's their storyline. But if you've done me wrong and then you come to me demanding me to explain why you've done me wrong, how are we going to get anywhere with that conversation when all
Okay, now I can't hear that.
only approaching OG with these conversations? And they've never even really had a conversation amongst themselves as a group, but none of them are even approaching Evelyn or Shawnee to even go have a conversation with her themselves. So no matter how you slice it, they're consistently positioning OG to be the issue,
Oh
even
shit.
down to
Yeah.
favorism.
Oh,
They're
bless her.
positioning OG to be the issue instead of this being a group dynamic type thing. So of course OG is going to be irritated. Of course she's going to be upset. Of course she's not going to hold any space for them to come and continue to disrupt her peace when she's there trying to cook, clean, play games, have a good time and fulfill this contract, and they keep coming to her with these conversations. And I don't know how anyone expects to consistently be forced to have these conversations and to be told, to be gaslit the entire time, and then to still have a smile on your face at the end of it. Because let's be real, if this was real life, they would have got these hands a long time ago. Like, you would have not been able to force me to have this conversation multiple times, gaslight me, tell me I'm wrong, get upset, go have interviews, and then you still approach me with this shit. I'm just gonna slap the shit out of you so I can feel better, and then I'll be happy to go to court. Happy. Just send me, like, I'll have my lawyer call your lawyer and we can make it do what it do, because you constantly coming at me and it's a hostile work environment. So I'm waiting for OG to sue VH1 and Shawnee for creating a hostile work environment. And all she got to do is run the episodes. She ain't even got to do the stuff she records and the producers don't know about. That's all I really want to say. I need to get back to Zoom Law School before my professor realizes my camera is off. And I will see y'all later.
Bye.
Can I speak, Scotty?
Who said that?
Willow 45.
Oh, go ahead, girl. Yeah, I'll wait. It's no problem. Go ahead, girl.
Scotty, you mute, so we can't hear you.
You mute.
Oh my bad. I was saying I'm gonna let you speak, Willow, but I'm gonna let Marjo go first because she's already been up here for a while waiting. So I'm gonna let her go first. I'm gonna go around, and let everybody speak. For those of
Okay.
y'all that's in the chat, I let two more people up here, but I'm gonna have to end this in a minute. I ain't expected to go this damn long. But I'm gonna let only two more people come up here, and then that's gonna be the end of it. Go ahead, Marjo. You go ahead and say what you gotta say.
Yeah, yeah. Hello, Scotty. Live in England anyway. Great Britain. Hi, everybody. Yeah, it's about 5:30 here. However, first and foremost, I'm gonna talk about colorism. It's so how can I call it? Can I call it ignorancy that you can't Google something? At least go on Google, Wikipedia. Yeah, you're a grown person. Go on Google, get the background of something, then try to relate it to what OG is saying. Listen, I'm a black woman. Both my parents are black. My parents live in Uganda right now. That's where I originate from. I wasn't born in England. I'm going to be short. I moved in England when I was 19. Now I'm 34. Yeah. And the first thing I got, somebody called me the C word without nothing. I didn't do nothing. I was just in the bar, lunchtime. Somebody called me the C word because I was hanging out with somebody who was white. So I understood one thing. It's either I have to fight you or I have to join you. So back to OG. Listen, if them bitches, I'm sorry to call them bitches, if they can't understand where she's coming from, because to me, they're coming
how would you like, let me give an example. How would you like, okay, you've said something and this is your experience, and 10 people coming to you. Everybody wants an explanation, and the best you can explain, everybody's still saying, I'm not this, I'm not this. If you know you're not this, give somebody time to explain themselves. Because to be sincere, if I look, Audrey, yeah, trust me, she's dark and beautiful. She speaks from her chest, period. I'll speak from my chest. If you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back 1,000 times, times 2. Don't come to me because I can speak eloquently or I can pronounce things the way you can hear it and disrespect me. Period. That's it. I'm done. But I don't like that situation. Oh, we don't get it, this and this. Or, what did I say? You sat in those conversations. Leave what they edited. There were conversations behind closed doors. And this girl is literally telling us, listen, this is what I experienced. There is the N-word. I don't even say the N-word. Trust me, if I say the N-word, I better be pissed off with you. And as I'm saying it, I'll be like, sorry, I said it, but you pissing me off to the next extent of saying the N-word. Because I didn't grow up, never. N-word was something that you saw on TV because of some music and somebody saying the N-word. I don't even want to say the bitch word. I don't call my friends bitch. I don't. Until they irritate me. Then I'm like, you making me say words that I'm not meant to be saying. Because you're pissing me off and we can't resolve some shit. That's as simple. But now I want that curse. Meaning, because, Evelyn is 25%, whatever, everybody is what percent. I'm not disrespecting them, but educate yourself about what colorism is, because it exists in Africa, as a continent too. That's all. Then I know people in the comments comparing it to Meghan Markle. At the end of the day, listen, we saw the interview, yeah? And I don't want to disrespect the royal family ever. Those are people we don't have to talk about too much. But to me, when she said the word that somebody in that family said, what color of a baby? I was like, do you know if you entered Uganda right now, they'll confuse you for a white woman? Are you mad? I was like, what? Because I looked at her and I'm like, I'm not disrespecting her to say you're not black or you've got that percentage. That's not what I'm saying. But to me, you pass as a white person in winter and autumn, yeah, to me, until it's summertime. Then you get a bit black, you get a bit, a bit of sun. You get a bit of sun. But me, okay, let me give an example. What if I was married to Prince Harry? They'll be worried. That what kind of child is coming out? And I could understand. Because I'm darker than her. If she landed in Uganda and nobody knew her and she didn't announce, she'll be passing for a white woman, period. I don't care what listen, I'm not disrespecting that family. That's her truth, that's her truth. But that one I was like, no, now you lie. To me, you lie. Because to me, you pass and we get more rain. Listen, America, you guys, you've got different weathers and everything. For us, trust me, we get more rain than a motherfucker. That's what I'll tell you. We talk about the weather every single day while we're having a cup of tea. Oh, it was until summertime, which it starts from June, end of June. If we're lucky, if we're really lucky, and they always talk about it. But come on, you in the United Kingdom, you got there, you know what the weather was. So to me, you don't really get that much sun. You don't. So to me, she can't play with me that way. That, oh, somebody was worried about what color. No. No. Maybe it was a joke somewhere, like a drunken joke, but I don't think anybody was making it a malice. But I'll be very brief. Thank you very much, Scotty. However, I think VH1 needs to either research. Listen, you can gaslight somebody, but how can you expect, because somebody has said that, oh, there was colorism, and they're comparing something that wasn't edited, and she's bringing receipts and receipts, and their conversation being passed around, whereby even is it Christine, whatever she is? Oh, yes, you know, I'm black, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. To me, if Christine was in Uganda right now, trust me, long hair, she doesn't have nappy hair like I do. Period. Everybody will go for her. You know, because we do the same thing where we come from originally. The lighter you are, that's why we've got the bleaching skin. It's so common in Africa, so much. The lighter you are, the better that you're pretty. And it's not about personality. I'll tell you something, Scotty. When I came in this country, because I had an accent, and I still have an accent depending on who I'm hanging out with. But when I'm doing an interview, I'm at uni right now. Yeah, we call it uni here, and I'm doing M-Farm. But when I'm on the phone and I'm in my lectures, if you don't see my face, trust me, you think that the bloody queen is talking to you. Period. Because I switch depending where I am. My best friends are from Portugal. I've got the blondest, I've got the darkest like me, but they're all from Portugal. I've got the mix in between there. But the darkest always comes to me and she's like, why are you that confident? Then I'm like, because that's how I grew up. I didn't grow up looking, yes, I knew white people were there, but however, I'm proud of me. What am I putting on the table? And if you're talking shit, I'll show you what's cheating. I'll be that person for you on that day. And if I have to be professional, I'll be professional. So we do have it. I've gone to Portugal so many times, and she's like, oh, you know, they'll like you because you sound this way, da 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 da. You understand what I mean? And I'm like, is it somebody would like me because I sound a certain way? What about my own personality? What am I bringing on the table? Don't like me because I sound a certain way. Like me for the quality I'm bringing out. What am I valuable? Simple. But anyway, thank you very much, Scotty, for everything.
All right.
And hi, everybody. Bye.
All right. To those of you that's trying to get in, I'm just gonna tell y'all right about now that I'm not gonna let anybody else up here at this point because I'm getting tired and I just want to allow everybody that's already up here to speak. But I will be doing a colorism panel. I'm looking at next week to do it. And I know that Chocolate Beauty 81 was in here. She's a fellow YouTuber herself. I'm probably going to invite her on that particular panel. But I just want to give everybody a chance to speak their piece that's been up here because I am getting tired as hell. Before we get to Desiree, Sunshine, someone in the chat said you never got a chance to finish your point. So I want to allow you to finish your point and just say whatever you need to say. Let's try not to. Let's try not. Everybody been long winded today, so let's not be too long winded at this point because I'm getting tired.
I'm definitely will not be. As you see, I keep coming in and out the video. I am currently working and schooling my children, so I am very multitasking right now. But just to really quickly finish my point, what I meant by saying that this is a TV show, we have to remember everyone on there is doing a job. This is honestly a job. I personally, from watching it, as my opinion, I don't think these group of ladies do not like her for her skin color. I feel like they do not like OG because OG does not get along to be along. She needs to go ahead and get along with whatever they're saying or whatever they want to do for her to be able to get along with them, and she's not going for it. Now, do I believe there's colorism and all type of isms in the show? Hell yeah. Yes, definitely. We
Mhm.
all see it with our own two eyes. It's undeniable. However, I do not think that's the reason on why they truly didn't like her. For me, she did not give off likable vibes. I didn't even get a chance to really get to know her to like her. It was always
Mhm.
confrontation. I never got that opportunity to even get to know OG. I went ahead and followed her on Instagram just to get to know her a little bit better. And that's very confrontational. So, not just saying that she's just negative or hard to work with, but I don't see why she doesn't use that to her advantage. So, personally, if I was OG this season, oh, they wouldn't have had to come to me to have the conversation. I would have went to them because the reality of it all, and I don't know why anyone hasn't spoke on it, they don't give a damn about how she feels. They don't care about her experience. They don't care if her feelings is hurt. That's why they never reached out to her. They proven that they didn't care. We're not going to reach out. We don't care. But they are doing their jobs. So now they're reaching out. They want to talk to her. Why not play that in your favor? Go on over here and bust up they scene. Go on over there to their house and bust up everything over there and be like, oh, well, I heard you want to have a conversation. Here I am. Like, make this the OG show at this point instead of having the production paint you in a negative light. That's just my personal opinion on it. And that's where I was getting to about this being a TV show. However, I'm very, very happy that she did bring up a real life issue that we have in the Black community. And I did just say us only because I was trying my best to watch my words and not offend anyone. But yes, I'm speaking in general to minorities, anyone that is not of Caucasian only descent. So that's what I meant by that, you
Okay.
know. So I don't want to discredit anyone that feels that they have experienced colorism outside of this country because damn right, it's out there too. Um, However, it's a culture thing. It's a minority thing, in my opinion. But yeah, just let's keep our mind on the reality of this is a TV show. They're doing a job. They're trying to have something for us to watch and talk about, and that's what they're doing. And I just wish that OG would have played this to her advantage. I would have been all up in their stuff. Now what? I'm here. You don't like me here? Here I am. Because they won't let her leave the show. She doesn't even want to be on the show. They wouldn't let her in her contract. So since you won't let me go, baby, you about to get all of me and deal with it. And that's just what it is. So I hope OG is at least watching this and take notes on that because if it is another season, oh, they're going to be sick and tired of OG if she listens to me. I would do it, but you know, to each his own. But I love the panel. I love you. I am definitely now a subscriber and I'm looking forward to watching all your videos. To
Thank
everybody.
you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
All righty. Desiree, you're next, child. I'm so tired.
No, you good. I wait. I had no problem. I think there definitely is a colorism issue and everything on this show. A difference between I feel like difference between doing your job and offending people while you're doing your job. Well, I have a job right now. This girl told me, "Oh my gosh, you look pretty for a black girl." I'm like, what? Why? And it's a white woman coming up to me and telling me this at my job. There's a difference. You can't offend somebody at your job. Like you can't offend somebody based on someone's skin tone and how they feature. Even like I said, if you think somebody that's fine, that's your preference. But I'm not gonna treat you different because of that. She has African
Mhm.
features and things like which comes in play. Okay, so she has that's hereditary. We all have it, but it was just it's a color issue for me. It's only for me personally because like I said, this show triggered the crap out of me. Just like you, Scott, it triggered me. I was bullied. I stuck up for bullying as well too, and it's all that combined. And for Shani to admit that, like, yes, I favor you. This you're enabling it. You're looking way past the bigger picture for yourself. You just cost your show. You cost your show. You say you got all this money, but you cost one of your bags, and you cost your bag, one of your bags. And this is probably one of your biggest bags. I don't know what else I really don't know what you do. This is one of your biggest bags you can cost it. Instead of you saying, sit down, how you gonna sit down and have a conversation about colorism?
And no, the girl who was accusing you of guys of color is not there. That's not how you're supposed to handle it. You're supposed to be the boss. You're not acting like one. You're not acting like one. Like I go to art Academy of Art. They teach you about the stuff about reality, how to spin the narrative. This is basics. They literally they can ask you the question like 5 times. And you be calm 4 times. The 5th time you get agitated, they're gonna show that 5th time how you felt. And so the first 4, how you was calm, cool, and collected. And that's how they get that narrative out of how they had to spin the narrative. And that's what some of us have fell into it. We fell into it. I did. I was intelligent enough to not fall into the narrative of how they try to make OG this aggressive person. They're not gonna show you the fight between Phoebe and OG because they can't edit out with a part where Phoebe called her Godzilla, black, dark. She's not gonna. They can't edit that. They can't do that much editing it out. They can't edit that fight. That's why they don't show it. Because I want to see it. What did you say? What happened for her to go off like that? And they don't have to show her calling her Godzilla. I'm pretty sure OG got the footage. I hope she do. I hope she put it out there so that speaks to the narrative. At the end of the day, they're wrong. Evelyn, I never liked Evelyn from the beginning. I always thought she was this is the thing. Evelyn, she said, I want to be educated. This is the thing. You know what time to go to the game and go dick on, go get dick. What celebrity go get some dick from? But you can't go to Google and go look up colorism. Go sit on the time, go get your education on to go get that. But you can't go to Google and look up the definition. That makes no sense to me. That literally makes no sense to me. Basketball player, how much he earned each year, his revenue, his sponsors, all this stuff. You look everything, but you can't look up the simple definition of colorism. Get out of here. Get out my face. Just get out my face. That just annoys me. That annoys me. If it's the thing, you gonna learn something, you gonna learn. If you want to. If you don't need to, that's fine. That's on you. I don't care. Be around, I don't care. That's all I gotta say about it. Like I said, I'm on OG side. They ain't about to play me. I'm not stupid. I got a brain.
Exactly.
Like them other girls. I got a brain. Okay? And I'm pretty sure everybody up in here, everybody on the panel right now, got a brain of their own.
All right, thank you.
But thank you, Saya. You guys have you guys have a nice day, okay?
All right.
All right.
Okay, Dre is next, and then Tootie's Bundles can also unmute herself. Well, I don't want to say her because I don't know what they are.
Hey.
Okay, so I'm gonna let Dre speak first, and then you can go next.
Okay.
Woo!
You guys can hear me?
Just a little bit.
Okay, hold on. How about now?
Okay, you good.
Okay,
much better.
Okay, so I see comments that says that there's no colorism on the show because they don't talk about OG skin color. I want to let y'all know that colorism isn't only talking about somebody's skin color. It's other stuff to it. There's levels to this shit when it comes to colorism. Like for instance, we're not saying that it's colorism because they had talked about OG skin color. It's not about that. It's about the labels that she have gotten. She got called aggressive. She's been called angry. She's been called bitter. She's been called Godzilla, and all those things like that. And then not only that, too, on top of that, at the reunion, you separate her in a whole different stage by herself. Like she's this like angry, aggressive, and dangerous person when that's not even the case at all. Because if that was the case, then you should have put Evelyn in a separate stage. You should have put Malaysia on a different stage. You should have put Jackie on a different stage. Because let's not forget when Jackie tried to throw a whole chair at somebody at Kristen's roller skating party. And then it's about the label. Like I said, colorism is about the labels. And with dark-skinned black women, when dark-skinned black women get that label, oh, she's angry, she's bitter, and stuff like that, when really black women are just trying to just defend themselves. And when you get those labels like that, it's kind of like, okay, but what about this person over here who's lighter complected and she's doing this, she's doing that, and she's doing worse, and it's like she's not getting the horrible labels, but then OG is. So obviously that's going to raise some questions. It's going to be like, okay, this is not adding up. like something's not clean in the buttermilk, whatever. And then not only that too, when OG was talking about features with Kristen, it was like what she was saying that Kristen has European features and then OG has Afro features. That's definitely going to play a part in colorism. And I see people saying that features doesn't play with colorism. It does, just like how texturism plays a part. Because if Kristen didn't have the European features that she had, she would definitely feel what OG is going through, 100%. And it's also, I just want to talk about how Black people don't see the colorism, but if OG was going through this with a bunch of white women, they would understand what the hell she was going through, 100%. Let's be real. If she was going through this with a bunch of white women and they were calling her aggressive and this and that, and they were clutching their booty cheeks like she's dangerous, they would have Black people would have lost their shit. So it's kind of like with colorism, it's a different story. It's like people are confused and they don't know, and it's like it's a lot of ignorance. And it's like, I understand that some people don't understand how colorism works and they don't know the levels to it. But at the same time, you can't say certain things saying that, oh, I don't see the colorism, when you don't understand the levels to it. If you don't understand the levels to it, then stay out of the conversation. Stay in your lane and educate yourself and pick up a fucking book. That's simple. And that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you. Thank you for all that. You said a mouthful in a short time. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Next up is Toodle's bundles. Go ahead. Yes,
Hey,
we moving
Scotty.
right
By
along,
the way,
child.
I want to say that I love your YouTube page. I love everything that you present on there, and I just wanted to get that out the way first.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
my thing about with the OG situation with the colorism, I did look in the comment section, and yeah, I understand how they were saying like, okay, light skinned women get, bullied as well, just as dark skinned women. I hate that it seems like they getting discredited, with the whole situation because they're not giving enough people to talk or explain themselves. But going on about the OG situation, I just feel like the way the editing or the production did with the basketball wise, it's like, how can y'all sit up here and paint a picture like this woman is being aggressive, and then we actually get to listen to the actual audio or recording, and it's different, you know it's like totally different from what we actually saw on there, and then everybody is going and running off of that and not even like paying attention that this is a reality show. Some stuff is gonna be heard, some stuff is not. And when I listened to the audio today, far as the conversation that they had, it didn't even make sense. It's like they went forward, then rewinded it back, and then went forward and rewinded it back. And I was like, it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. And it's like she was actually educating us and everybody else and them on stuff, and nobody really was trying to listen to it. Nobody was trying to understand it. And I just wanted to say that because I was trying to, type it in the comment section. I didn't want to come on the live or whatever. But I had so much to say, I couldn't even get it out in the comment section because you only can get so many characters in it.
Yeah.
And I just believe like us as Black people, we have to like listen instead of just talking first or over talking people on the conversation so we can hear each other out without knowing what's going on, you know? So you're gonna just over talk someone and not even listen and let them finish talking about what they gotta say. And like even watching the live with you, everybody had a valid point, but people was chiming in and had so much to say. And then the other guy that you had on, I think Dave Real, I don't think he really understood fully the conversation.
Child.
But keep doing what you're doing. I love you. I've been watching you for 2 years.
Thank you. Oh, thank
And I
you.
understand how frustrating it can be. And I know you're tired. I didn't want to hold you up too long. I just wanted to, chime in and get out my point. That's all.
Well, I love you back, and thank you so much for your input on this conversation. I really do appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye. Willow 45, you're up next. I know you've been waiting for a while, but you up next.
Thank you, thank you. That's okay. I understand people have a lot. I think people are talking so much because they have so much to say about it and they don't have a platform to actually say it on. So they're just like getting
Yeah.
it all out. So first I wanted to say is as being a lighter skinned person, is that if we expect people like white people to check other white people about white privilege, then we have to be willing as lighter skinned people to be able to check ourselves about our privilege. You have to you have to see and be willing to see they are editing OG in a certain way to make her look aggressive. They are setting these things up to make her look this way. So you can't just be willing to ignore it and just say, oh, it must be something else. You must be looking at something else. That is the same, the way that she feels is the same way that we feel when other white people make excuses for white people of why we are being discriminated against. So that's my first thing. My second thing is that Shawnee is creating this environment. She has created this environment for it to just be hostile, for these things to go along. And she acts like she's delusional to the fact, but she knows everything that's going on. No one is as violent as Tammy and Evelyn. Tammy was the treatment that Tammy was getting first when she first came on was classism. They were looking down at Tammy because they thought she was poor. But the way that Tammy treated Keisha on that trip as somebody who has been bullied in the past was some of the worst triggering whatever type of treatment that I have ever seen, and they've never separated her. Tammy still to this day says, oh well, I believe I was just getting her purse because she left it behind. That whole thing was violent and mean and just horrible. So that was terrible, and she never got an ounce of the treatment that OG was given just because she was confident. And Shawnee needs to watch out for herself come in the future because her daughters are not the small, little, delicate, light flowers that she and Evelyn proclaim themselves to be. They might have some of them Shaq genes coming out the older that they get, so we don't know what type of treatment they will be getting in the future. And then if Evelyn really wanted to get to the bottom of it, if she really wanted a resolution, she has a line to Iyanla Van Zant. Iyanla could have sat down with this whole group and helped to resolve this issue, but she didn't want the truth. She didn't want to be able to get a resolution to it. So she never called upon people who were maybe at her disposal to really get a resolution. She is a gaslighter. And nobody acts more like a monkey or a baboon than her, flat-footed stomping across the table to get to Jennifer, then running down that hill and tripping her own damn self to get to Cece. So nobody acts like more of a baboon than her ass. And then my last thing is that they confuse OG and Wendy's. Okay, OG and Wendy are tacky and confident. We can all say Wendy never wore the right foundation. OG never wore the right foundation. This is true. They never wore the right foundation. They never dressed. They was always just a little bit off, just 1 little centimeter off, one little extra pattern of pastel off. All of them, okay, both of them. And so that's what they're confusing their confidence from their culture. They are bred to be confident in their culture. They're not like us. They're supposed to enter, there's some of us American people who are taught to enter a room meek, mild. They are told to come through and you are the bomb and you gonna tell everybody that you are the bomb. That's not a bad thing, but they take that arrogance or they take that confidence as like, oh my God, who does she think she is? And so they immediately want to break that down. They immediately want to find a flaw in that armor. And that's the problem. That is not a way to be. And the reason why and all of this little clusterfuck goes back to Shawnee. It all comes from Shawnee. But like I said, she better watch out because those daughters might be her karma. Okay, thank you for letting me say my piece.
Oh, no problem. You said quite a bit. I appreciate everything you said. Trust me.
Oh,
I think everybody appreciates everything you just said because you made a whole lot of sense.
thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you for
day.
coming up. All
Okay,
right, thank you. I
bye
think
bye.
Jazz is next. Go ahead, Jazz.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, how are you? Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, first, I wanted to say I love your videos. I watch them every time I can. Um, and soon I'll be trying to do my videos, and I kind of want to link up with you soon, if future wise, speaking into existence. Um, my opinion about the whole entire thing is that OG has her right to her opinion, and can I cuss? I want to. This your
Yeah,
channel. I want to be
yeah,
respectful.
go ahead.
Okay. That's another thing. I love how real y'all is, everybody. But them girls, them hoes, them bitches, whatever you want to call them, think about them. They're trying to make her change her mind on, change her opinion, change her what she's saying is true, like make it their way, and it's not that way. Jackie been trying to play in the middle and trying to play back and forth. And this episode that just passed yesterday, she's trying to make her change what she said just to set her some shit to save her job. And everybody's correct. She's trying to save her job. I don't feel like that's right. And if Jackie was a real person and a real friend like she says she is, she need to go back and look at herself and be like, man, that was serious some fucked up shit I just did. I'm really literally trying to make this girl change what she's feeling to just to stay in on TV with these girls. And it's right. These girls has been acting a fucking fool. And then now when everybody else was trying to like everybody else did their little dibble dabble of telling the truth about everybody on this show, but OG is making it known. And I think that's what everybody's afraid of is that she's standing out on her own. And once she's not by herself, regardless, we may be behind the TV, like watching it, but this is a say so because everybody else. If everybody in this world start watching that show, baby, that should have been canceled like just like that. And
Right.
we really pretty much kind of had to say so. And she don't Shani don't get it, and she fucking retarded. I hate her. I don't like Evelyn. Somebody should have been knocked that hoe out in her head. And then another thing about that, when she did try to hit Cece with a bamboo stick, I didn't like that whole episode, like that season, because what they kept trying to make it seem like she was trying to jump in on shit. And it's like, no, my best friend, she gonna stand for me and I'm gonna stand for her. If I see you keep trying to come for my best friend, bitch, best believe if this hoe don't hit you, I'ma hit you. And it ain't gonna get
Right.
to no point that I'm just gonna keep telling you to chill or keep hearing y'all yell at me about standing up for my friend. No, it's not gonna be like that. You're not gonna keep coming for my friend. And that's another thing that I feel like she should have voiced, but I feel like she did and they cut it out. And then like she airing their ass out now. You cut out a whole scene of me telling her I do not want to talk about it. I do not want to talk about it. I do not want to talk about it. And you're steady trying to talk to me about it. And I really wish that if you really take colorism out of it, it still shows that one, you have been really disrespecting me the whole entire time. You have been making me look like I'm a bad person. I have the right to tell you that I will knock your motherfucking jaw loose because you keep trying to come up to me. And she told her girl, I don't want to hurt you. And I know you don't like to fight. So I wasn't gonna do it. I can threaten you, but it don't mean I have to put my hands on you because I'm a person that it's only so long I'm gonna let you keep doing something. And I ain't even that type of person that like to fight, but if I tell you when I give you that threat and that's it, I'm gonna knock your motherfucking jaw loose. And I feel like she should have did it, but she's well, like she ain't finna do that. She ain't gotta stick to that level. But Evelyn is all the way in the wrong. I hope she lose that case. I hope the show get canceled because it's time to wrap it up anyway. They all it's over with. Like, what else is there to talk about after this? What would be another thing? And I feel like as women, they shouldn't always want to fucking argue. And I see that on every reality show. Like, why argue all the time? I understand we need the ratings and stuff like that, but like, why not just have a show where you go and fucking have fun? And that's just how I feel. I just feel like these women need to grow up, because if you really want to fix something, you'll come with an open heart and you'll just fix it, and you will overlook what's going on. It's just like the whole Kirk Franklin situation with his son. Everybody's trying to be, oh, you wrong. But if his son would have came with an open heart and just dropped all that shit and just really wanted to work it, this shit'll be fixed. And it's the same way with these girls. You grown ass women. Bitch, y'all older than me. I'm 22 years old. It's too much going on to be sitting up here arguing with some bitches you can't understand what's going on. But that's it. I'm sorry. I know you've been talking about this all day, and I don't want to keep going on. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
But I
Thank
just
you
wanted
for
to give my
coming up.
opinion.
All right, thank you for coming up. I appreciate it. Next up is Black, and then we're gonna close it off with Justin. So go ahead, Black. Say what you got to say. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, me?
Yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, that's good. So what I want to say is, first of all, you're actually new to me. I did subscribe to you actually through Bondi Blue. So I watched
Okay.
several of y'all. And I just so happened to catch the conversation, even though I've been here for a while. But I think what that guy, again, I can't remember his name, the guy with the glasses, Day Real or whatever it was, no disrespect, but I think what I was getting from what he was saying is, because his family and maybe his friends don't have the conversation, he thinks it doesn't exist. And a lot of people, when it comes to things, if we don't talk about it, then it doesn't exist. And I want to make another point of like, I saw Kirsten on Melissa Ford's Are You the Food? Like right after the season she was on. Melissa Ford interviewed her, and she had basically made the same statement. Melissa asked her, do you think colorism's on the show? And I'm sorry, Kirsten said, because I didn't experience it, no, there's not colorism on the show. And that's just another aspect, because I mean, there are already a lot of great points. I mean, a lot of stuff was taken. I don't have a lot really to say, but that's one thing. And it goes back to what you said even earlier. Let's just learn to respect someone's story. Just because you didn't experience it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Or just because you like the person. And I want to make this point about Tammy and Mika. I think what happened with Tammy and Mika, because Mika has said there was colorism, and Mika actually got ignored, I believe, saying there was colorism. And I believe, and this is just my opinion, the reason why Mika was ignored, because at that time, Tammy was likable. And I think the likability, again, people want to ignore certain issues. Just like I think there are people, because they just don't like OG, they want to say it's not real. And we got to get off this like train. Things exist. They're going to exist. They're going to do. So I'm pretty going to close out. I don't have much, like I said. Everything was really already said that I feel, I could say. So again, just get off the likable train, and please, let's learn to respect other people's point of view. Let's not say, let's agree to disagree when we're all only agreeing. Let's learn to say it when we're disagreeing. So if I just haven't had that experience, just respect me telling my story and listening to my story. Really, that's kind of all I think I have to say, all other than besides, not just as a shout out to Alexander Rogers, but Shitty on Nostril. Not that for the fact that she is not the only one, because I've watched your reviews, Bonnie's reviews. I forget the brother that, says the Crimson Chin and Code 45, but his reviews. And I watch Alice's friends Chris reviews, and I can name a bunch of people, but one thing I notice all y'all have in common, the production company is now painting her to look a certain way. They're doing the editing. So it's not just shitty old Nostro. It's the production company themselves too that's editing certain things, because I guess they're trying to save their jobs too, because this show is ready to go. Pretty much. But that's all.
Well, before you go, I do want to piggyback off of what you said when you brought up Mika and her calling out colorism early on, and how she was pretty much ignored because Tammy was the likable one and she wasn't the most likable. I will say that when that situation happened, that happened 2011, I was about 22 years old back when I was watching that show, and I was one of the ones that ignored what she said because during that time, I loved Tammy, but I did not like Mika. Now, 10 years later, I see exactly what it is now. I'm guessing it comes with age and you getting older and stuff like that. You tend to understand the things that you really didn't understand, or what you wasn't trying to understand when you were in your late teens and early 20s. Now I understand what she meant. Because back then, I didn't know what the hell colorism was. I had never even heard of the term. All I ever knew was that she said that Tammy made fun of her complexion. I didn't necessarily think she did at that time, but now that I'm older, I can understand it a little bit better. So thank you for mentioning that. So I also had to take. I'm all about taking accountability. So when you brought that up, I felt the need to take accountability for my own stance on certain things from way back in the day, because I totally ignored Mika myself back then because I ain't like her. But now that I'm older and more mature, I can go against the whole, well, I just don't like her, so I'm just gonna go against it just because I don't like them. Like I ain't with this shit no more. So I totally understand. So thank you for that, and I appreciate your commentary and everything that you just said. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we got. Then there was one. Got Justin Payne up here. Say what you got to say, cause Lord knows I am tired as hell right now. Go ahead.
Hi, Scotty.
How you
I've been
doing?
watching your videos for a long time, and I do go on your panels when you do the big panels with Bondi and all them. I watch them a lot. You are really good. I'm really proud that you're actually doing something like this, because a lot of people need, because not a lot of people do this, especially in this day and climate. But okay, one I wanted to say, well, people, as me, people will say, well, you're young, so you don't really know what's going on. But like I've experienced some similar things because my grandma, she's a lighter skinned woman, and people are like, that's not really your grandma, because usually grandmas are usually like darker skin, but no, that's my grandma. She's like a lighter skinned person. But what I wanted to say was the show Evelyn back in 2010, she's been a bully, a bully since then. She has thrown drinks. She has done. I didn't even like her when she left and when she came back. Like I was on Jackie's side even when people didn't like her in season 6. Like I was all here because usually Evelyn has an issue with people that fire right back at her. She has a real issue with that. Like let's say for instance in season 7, Evelyn and Tammy were arguing and they were going back and forth, and the editing that they did when Evelyn made fun of Tammy's health condition and her walk and stuff like that, she hit below the belt and Tammy hit right back at her. That's why you lied on Chad. Evelyn couldn't take it and she started crying. And then season 6, Evelyn told Jackie to go take care of her grandkids, and then Jackie hit back at her was like, okay, well let's talk about how your daughter did so and so and so and so. Like Evelyn gets intimidated with people that can fire right back at her, and she goes and runs to Shawnee for all the time, and it's like really irritating because I'm like, because it's like, and then the thing with I was actually proud because I saw people when I watched other reviews like Bondi and all them, people were upset at OG because they were like, oh my gosh, like OG, can you just like come to a compromise? Like I was really disappointed in Jackie. I was like, come on, Jackie, like these don't even like you. Like I was literally with you when you said that in your review. I was like, they don't even like you, Malaysia. They don't like you. They literally tolerate you. They don't even
Right.
like you, and you're trying to be all nice with them. Like Evelyn doesn't like you. She doesn't like you just because she just needs to act like. Tammy, she's wishy washy because the things that the people are just so afraid to speak up. With Shawnee, they try to be cowards and they don't want to speak up against Shawnee. They just are afraid because they're afraid to lose their job. And
Mhm.
people were like, well, OG's like, you shouldn't be afraid to stand up and speak out for what you believe in because for once in 9 years of this show, someone is finally not letting Shawnee or Evelyn get away with their bullying that they did in the past.
Mhm.
Because as you can see, when people get into situations with Evelyn and Shawnee, they are so quick to apologize. They're so quick to, okay, I'm sorry, or just forgive me. Like when Brandy and her had the conversation, when Brandy came back on season 5, she was like, I told you, Shawnee, I apologized to you about calling you the B word and all of that stuff. And I mean, when Royce had her issues with Evelyn, they apologized. It was like people are so quick to apologize, and you finally have somebody that's not afraid to do it. She's not going to let them roll over. She's not going to let them stop and try to be all, okay, I'm apologizing. And I'm proud that she actually told Jackie, like, I'm not going to do it. And when she said last night, a sisterhoods don't do that. And you need to stop saying it's a sisterhood
Exactly. It's
because it's
not a
not a
sisterhood.
sisterhood.
Right.
It's like it's not a sisterhood because if this was a sisterhood, you wouldn't nitpick at people. And you know what's funny? The thing that they tried to do last night when they tried to edit and try to say when Malaysia was like, "Oh, you when you made fun of me too," when they rolled playback when she talked about her wig and talked about how Evelyn's not black, those were all responses of what you guys said to her. So because it's
Mhm.
true, Evelyn's not black. She dates all these black people to fit in. And me and my grandma were just talking about this last night because you could be white, Hispanic, Latina, anything, and be like, well, I've dated a black person, I've dated a Hispanic, so it gives me a pass. That doesn't mean anything. It does not
Mhm.
mean anything just because you date a certain race. It doesn't give you the permission to say certain words and say something. Because at a young age, I dated a white person. I made that very clear. And my ex was like, "Oh, I can say that word." No, you cannot say that word. Just because you are dating me does not give you the right to say that. Like
Right.
I've experienced because I've experienced what OG experienced at school mostly because people would treat me different, would look at me different, would not want to associate with me because of it. And you have to the fact that you guys when you guys never gave her a chance when she sat down with them, like they literally picked on her. They literally talked about her wig and her dress and all this other stuff. And I'm thinking to everyone like, who are you to think that you can pick on somebody and you get mad at their response. And the fact that when the first episode came out, the fact that Evelyn was trying to act like I never meant anything about the monkey emoji. I never meant I'm like, so we all live on. So you really trying to play dumb and trying to act like,
Right.
oh, the monkey emoji had nothing to do with you. That's the person you're arguing with. And when it comes to the separation of that stage and the whole thing, I was really disappointed in that. And I think I was more disappointed with Jackie last season than this season. Because what Tammy
Mhm.
basically said, Jackie, you're fake. Like, and I'm a Jackie Christie fan. I really like Jackie even when people didn't even like Jackie. Like, but I just didn't like how you're telling this girl to discard her feelings and to tell her say it's not colorism, say it's not what you experience,
Mhm.
so we can move on. And the things in it's funny because everyone didn't just call Cece Ling Ling, and they didn't sit there. And this was crazy because last season I was so upset because when they were in Costa Rica, she was like, "Oh, you're playing the race card." When Evelyn sat in Amsterdam and called Cece Lily the nail shop girl,
Mhm.
and nobody said anything. They all sat there. They didn't. They just looked at Evelyn like she was crazy, and they just moved on about their lives, and no one said anything. And
Right.
then when they were like, "Oh, OG's playing the race card," and I'm sitting here like, "What did she say that wasn't true?" Evelyn's not black. She
Exactly.
does want to be black. And the thing that bothers me about Evelyn and Johnny is that Evelyn can hit below the belt to so many people and criticize them and hit them where it hurts the most. And the fact that you can sit here and want to cry when Jackie basically said that about your kid, but like you talked about her kid. Like you talked about her family. Well, even though nobody knows the truth if Jackie actually said to her daughter or not, because even if she did, God forbid her. But for you to want to play victim and you want to cry, I never liked Evelyn. I never liked Jennifer either. Like Jennifer always wants to still fit in with the girls, wants to still be Evelyn's sidekick. This girl literally threw a drink on you, got in your face all
Right.
last season, and you still want to defend her? Jackie, she literally called you out for being a bad mama and a colorist. And it's funny because Johnny was like, those things can damage you, but like, didn't Evelyn do the exact same thing that OG was saying y'all did? Literally, she labeled Jackie a colorist, even if it's true or not. It doesn't matter because you don't want those things on national television.
Hmm.
People were saying, "Oh, well, Laura brought that up seasons ago." It doesn't matter. You're making it resurface. And everyone was like, "Oh, Evelyn, Jackie's just crazy." That season, Jackie was there. Everyone was like, "Jackie's just crazy. Jackie just doesn't like to be called out." No, Evelyn doesn't like to be called out. When you
Hmm.
finally have a strong African black woman, a strong person that will actually call you out on your wrongdoings and your bullying behavior, you it's like you can't take it. You can't take when finally someone calls you to the carpet, when someone actually
Right.
calls you out on your hypocritical and your double standards and your bullying. You get mad about that. And when in season 7 when Tammy cried at the dinner table, people were like, the one thing I've always saw when they were like, Tammy, you were bullied back then. No one ever said Tammy wasn't a bully. But at least Tammy was able to acknowledge her growth and admit when she was being that way and admit she was doing that horrible behavior. So I'm so sick and tired of people like, Tammy, stop acting like you're innocent. Stop acting like you were innocent back then. At least Tammy was able to acknowledge her growth and
Hmm.
to admit that she did horrible things and she's gonna learn and grow from it. At least she acknowledged it and grew up and left. Evelyn can never admit when she's wrong. She can never at least say, hey, she always has to, it's always, you argue with me, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm the one, no, you hurt me. It's funny how they want to say OG. Last night, everyone was like, OG's not willing to come to a compromise. That's Evelyn. Evelyn thinks in her mind she's always right. She's always
Hmm.
right. When you argue with me, no, I didn't do nothing to you. You did something to me. It's like you did some messed up too. And then the fact that I don't like Jackie right now because she's really begging for Evelyn to prove. It's like, why are you and Malaysia? I'm like, like, why are y'all two really begging for this girl and trying to be all nice to her when she never liked y'all? She
Exactly.
never liked y'all. When she came back to the show, she never liked you guys. And the fact that y'all are literally trying to submit to be her friend, and that's the same thing with Jennifer. Jennifer, this girl literally had her assistant run across and slap you in the face, throw drinks at you, jumped across the table at you, and you're still defending this girl? Because I was talking to one of my friends, I told them, if you think you're a higher, if Shawnee thinks you're a higher power, just because what you dated Shaquille O'Neal, okay, what is that? What does that give you? Just because you dated Shaquille O'Neal, and the fact that because the YouTubers I watch you, and then I watch Bondi, and I watch All Tea All Shade. What's her name?
Color me
T.
pink.
Yes, I do. I love her. You should have her to your panel. But that's all I wanted to say. I know you've been here a lot. I do love you. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now a lot of people would like to come here because Tulsa, Oklahoma has a lot of history and it has a lot of things here. The Tulsa Race Massacre and all this other stuff here. And the fact that this show just needs to, I don't even think they're gonna come back for a 10th season. This
Oh,
season
I
is
don't
not
either. I don't
because
either.
I don't. This show is not right. It's just I am kind of upset that Cece kind of left because I would want to see what would happen if Cece stayed and see what would happen. But the thing that people were like, well, Cece's just a manipulator. Cece's just a punk. I don't think Cece was a punk to me. I think
Me
just
either.
because CC didn't let them get her out of her character until season 8 came in. She showed Evelyn when she came in, like she just didn't let them come out of her character just because she didn't like confrontation. I mean, just because people were like in Amsterdam when she got into the argument with Evelyn and called her Evelyn and was doing all this stuff and calling her Tweedledee and Tweedledummer. People like, Cece, that's all you're gonna give her. You're not gonna go in on her. She gave her a response. What? Just because you don't act out of character doesn't mean you're a punk. I never saw Cece as punk. I thought Cece just didn't let them get her out of her character until last year. The
Right.
fact and one more point is that this show is not acceptable. This show is not right. And the fact that Johnny O'Neill was put in a position to put black people in power and put black people on a pedestal, that's not what representing black people is about. I may be 17 years old, but at least I know a lot of information about this because black people, that's not what represents people. That's not.
Mm-hmm.
What Tyler Perry is doing, that's representing. What you're doing, that's not what it is. But I just say thank you, Scotty, for letting me come on and join. I will
No
be. When are
problem.
you do? When are you gonna do your panel again?
As of right now, I'm talking. Well, at least I can. Well, I'll go ahead and say who I was talking to. I'm actually in a group DM on Twitter with the Brooke Ashley. I don't know if you ever heard of her, but she's another
Mhm.
YouTuber called the Brooke Ashley and Erica Dinero TV. I'm actually talking with them right now as we speak, and I'm trying
You
to come
should
up
get.
with
You
the
should get color
day.
me. You should get color me pink because she literally makes me laugh so much. She
You
is like.
know, Color Me Pink was actually supposed to be a part of the panel that I do with Bundy, but Color Me Pink has a lot going on, so she wouldn't have
Yeah.
time to really do that. But
I
as
would.
far
I
as
would.
the colorism panel that I'm trying to do, I'm
Just
definitely
use it with
talking
different
to
people or just with different YouTubers.
different YouTubers.
Okay.
I'm definitely talking to the Brooke Ashley. I'm talking to
No.
Erica Dinero right now. Both of those, I put them in like this little group DM on Twitter so we can discuss it. I'm
And be
definitely bringing Bundy on too. I know those three
because
out of everybody.
and I'm gonna be honest, Potomac, that I saw that panel every night that you did with them, and I like, oh Lord, y'all getting so frustrated about that. But I, I mean, Wendy to me, I never really liked Wendy. I mean, I didn't
Hmm.
even see it for Wendy when Karen said she wasn't impressed with her. I really was like, somebody said that I wasn't impressed with you either. Like, but I think I'm gonna next year I'm gonna give Wendy another chance, I guess, to 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 clean slate. But yeah, people think to me as a because me being so young, I you don't understand it because you never experienced something like that or you don't know what's going on. And I'm like, y'all, adults can learn from other young people too. Because a lot of people will be like, yeah, you
Right,
know a lot. Because I really was thinking about doing YouTube because I really wanted to do the panel with you guys because I'm a very um spokative person and I'm very passionate about a lot of things that go on in the world, a lot about helping people and stuff like that. I really wanted to try because I've always wanted to be like, dang, I wish I was up there with the panel, just listening to them and just talking with them. Because I've always wanted to find a group of people that actually understand and get to know from all different shapes. I really wanted to try to do that. I really
right.
wanted to try to do that with you. But I know you've been here all day, so I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for letting me come on. I will be watching any of your videos.
All right.
Th- Thank you.
No problem. No problem.
Bye.
No problem. All right.
Bye.
Um,
No.
okay. All right. So this we have come to the close of this conversation. I did not expect this to be 3 hours, almost 3 hours. I did not expect this to be this long. I was only going to come on for about an hour and let some people talk or whatever, and just whatever. But I did not expect it to be this long. I didn't even expect it to hit over 400 viewers live like that. Because when I go live by myself, it don't be that many people when I go live by myself like that. But yeah, I appreciate it. But before I go, I just want to let you guys know that right about now, I'm trying to get this colorism panel together right now as we speak. I am. I was trying to pick a date that would be the best for everybody. Once I figure out the date, I will put it on my community wall or whatnot. But as of right now, um, Erica Dinero has said that she's willing to come on. The Brooke Ashley has said that she's interested in participating. And I haven't talked to Bundy yet about it, but I will be talking to her because I think that she would be good for it. Chocolate Beauty 81, she's a brand new YouTuber. If you have not ever heard of her, you probably have seen her in the commercials on the Chasing Reality platform. Since she wasn't able to come up here, I will definitely invite her to come on the Colorism platform. I just have to hit her up and talk about the day and the time and all of that other stuff. So that's how many people? That's four people. That's Brooke, that's Erica, there's Bundy, that's Chocolate Beauty. I did say that I wanted to invite Kempire Radio up here too because um, it's a different perspective. Um, Also, I would like to invite Terrence up here too because it's a different perspective. And I think Yarrell would be good for this too. At first, I just wanted to do that panel with just all women. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted to do. I did not want any men up here at first. I wanted to do it with all women. But after today, I may need to just mix it up and have, men up here. You know what I mean? So um that's if I want Rodney DeVoice to come up here. I think someone mentioned um no, that's not gonna be the name of the panel, RR. I don't know what the name of it would be, but that's just what I'm calling it right now. That's not gonna be the name. But um yes, Nikki Star TV. I've always wanted to thank you for mentioning her. I would definitely try to find a way to hit her up. I don't know if she has Instagram or Twitter, but me and her have spoken in the past before. I would definitely ask her. She would be damn good for this topic. So I think I need to make a list. I think I need to make a list. You said Storm. That's if he would be that's if he would want to come up here. Y'all just giving me so many different people to ask. I would definitely like to ask Rodney. But listen now, y'all asking me for all these people, but when I put so many people up here, then y'all gonna be complaining and say it's too many people up here, it's too many people up here. Y'all gotta pick which struggle it y'all want it to be. Okay? Now y'all want all these people up here, but when all of them be up here, y'all complain about all of them being up here. So y'all gotta make sure as to what it is that you want now. Now I don't want it to be no more than 8 people, but and I also want to give different people a chance too. You know what I mean? Like people that have never graced my panel before. Because I've been wanting to work with Brooke for a while, and Nikki Star. I did not think of her at all at first, but thank you for mentioning her. Someone actually brought up Contrary Canary to me before, so I think I'm gonna reach out to her too. I think someone said that Rodney the Voice already said that he's not necessarily a panel person, but I still want to try and see. You know what? And what's really funny about this is that you see that Nikki Star just went live just now. So yes, I'm subscribed to her. So yeah, am I coming up with this cast while we live? Erica, Brooke, Erica, Brooke. Who else did I say? Bundy, Kempire Radio. Um, I'm gonna add Nikki to the list. I'm gonna add Contrary Canary to the list. That's 6 people. I'm probably gonna add Terrence to the list too, and Yarel to the list as well. Or Rodney. It just depends because if everybody can't participate, then that's one thing. But it's hard. Those are very good selections. So what I would like for you guys to do, because it's 243 of you guys up here. So this is what I need for you all to do for me to help me out with this. Because I want to do this next Thursday. That's the day that I'm looking at, next Thursday. Um, so it may be people that I can't necessarily reach. So what I'm gonna need for you guys to help me out with is to get in contact with Contrary Canary. Can someone send her to me? Some of y'all can send her to me, please. Contrary Canary. It wouldn't be no issue for me to ask Nikki Star Love to be a part of this because I'm subscribed to her. Um, I think now Erica and Brooke, I'm already talking to them. Bundy, I have a direct connection to Bundy, so I don't have no problem. Kempire, I could definitely get to him myself. Um, let me see. Terrence, I can get to him myself if he wants to do it. Um, yeah. So whatever y'all do, Chocolate Beauty, it's probably going to be 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Central Time, because I'm trying to kind of cater it around Erica Daniro because she has a different time zone because she's in California. She's 2 hours behind me, so I'm trying to cater it around her. Um, and Simply Sakina, that would be a good one too. But yeah, if you can, I don't know Contrary Canary's Twitter handle. So if y'all can tag me and her in a tweet together, and then we can go from there. And I can DM her or whatnot, and I can follow her. So let me try to work on this. Is this is gonna be a one time thing, Joshua. I don't want to overwork myself because we already got the prelude every week. I already got the panel every week. And then I already got my other videos in between, so I don't really want to overwork myself, because it's a lot to take in. Because we already got 2 episodes of the prelude that same week. Because that Wednesday, me and Jamar is interviewing someone from the Grind Dallas edition, and then that Thursday would be that panel, and then that next Friday it would be Latrice from Bill Collective once again, and Antoinette from Bill Collective once coming on with her to discuss some reunion tea or whatever. So that's an exclusive for y'all. So yes, Latrice will be coming back, but she'll be bringing Antoinette right along with her on the prelude next Friday. So that's some exclusive tea for y'all. So be ready for that too. But so I don't want to do too much. I see your follow Chocolate Beauty. I'm gonna follow you back as soon as I get off here. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. So I just want you guys to help me with certain people. That's Contrary Canary. I want you guys to help me out with reaching out to her. I know people said something about Gigi the Juice. I don't know how to get in contact with her. I've been wanting her to come on one of the whether you like in the not panels when one of the girls aren't available, and I don't know how to get in contact with her at all. I've been trying to, but I don't know how. But that's it, you guys. I'm banking on you guys to help me get this together. Like I said, I already got 3 people, well, 4 people rather, that's already willing to participate, and it's Erica, Brooke, Kempire, and Bundy. I just got to figure out the rest. So, with that being said, y'all, I'm out of here. It's so many people to pick and choose from. Y'all gave me so many people, and it's um hard to pick. But I also want to give those that's never graced my panel a chance to be up here and to have something to say. You know what I'm saying? So I think I should go live more often by myself. Because every time I go live with everybody else, but I never go live by myself. You know what I mean? And I think that when I go live, you guys get to see my personality really outside of me talking about the reality shows. Because when I talk about the reality shows on the videos, I come across very angry and aggressive when that's not me on a day-to-day basis at all. But I think that when I go live, y'all really get to see my personality just because I'm really a fun person overall. I love to make people laugh, as you can see. Ooh. So it is what it is. However, I'm gonna try to go live on like on days like this. when I don't have to work and stuff like that. And I want to bring Jamar up for a Q&A. So we gonna let everybody in the chat like ask a bunch of questions to us and shit like that. Like it's a lot of stuff I'm trying to do. And yeah. So with that being said, y'all, I'm out of here. As soon as I get off, I'm gonna follow Chocolate Beauty again. I'm following her on Twitter, and I'm going to get this whole colorism panel together. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank all of my Team Scotty friends for coming on the platform to um to talk to me about this situation, give their opinions, even though I got a tad bit heated up here for a second. But I do appreciate it. I appreciate all of the super chats and super stickers and everything else that you guys gave. I want to thank everybody for that. Now I am tired, eyes tired, and later on tonight I'll be doing the prelude with Jamar. We'll be interviewing Sean from the new LGBT web series called The Grind Dallas Edition. So that'll be on at 9:30, 8:30 Central Time tonight. Okay. So with that being said, y'all, your boy's out here, and I'll talk to you guys.